Monday evening, so you know what that means. It is time for Outlaw Radio. I am the mayor of Chocolate City, metaphorically. The militant with a microphone, the mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer. Welcome to the show. If I sound a little congested, it's because I am actually under the weather. The games that nature is playing with us right now, I guess you could say we deserve it. There are some people who like to say or hypothesize that there's some entity playing games with the weather. I guess a couple people have, accused certain individuals of having weather machines. That's the kind of stuff we'll talk about on the show tonight, and anything else that is related to foundational Black Americans and our well-being and our thoughts, our expressions, our narratives, if you will. We attempt to kind of write those ourselves, as opposed to depending on some super corporate, bought and paid for entity. We have to have freedom of speech as far as we can push it, right? We know that there's a line. We know that they will never hesitate to, put that line in front of you when it's time. So the new Black media is all about that. It is all about writing our own narratives. Hope you understand how important that is, right? Because this, like everything else, the bubble will burst and then we'll be back where we were before. So take the opportunity to get as much as you can from these individuals who choose to create content, have platforms, especially if they're saying something, if they're talking about something that can enlighten you. I mean, it's cool to be entertained, but at a certain point, you have to be enlightened as well. So, Outlaw Radio is one of those platforms. So, welcome aboard. My co-host is here. He's
Are you not
fashionably
entertained?
right. He's fashionably late.
Are you not
Mr. Turtle, what's going on?
entertained?
What's going on with you, man?
But are you not entertained when you come to Outlaw Radio? Welcome to Outlaw
Eventually we will
Radio,
be.
y'all, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk. Raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the Black woman lover, the Black man's brother, the culture teacher, hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor. Hey, mama! There go to CMOS, man! Hey, this national vitality. Now let's get this shit cracking.
Yeah, man. Black business all day. Man, I can't. And I'm starting to. I'm really doing this show with kind of like a chip on my shoulder tonight. Really an attitude, and I'm actually wondering how much does
Yeah.
being Black matter to Black people.
Fuck 'em.
I really want to know, is it still important as a Black person to support other Black people? Because what I'm looking at is what I see. What I see is that's not the case. So we'll talk about that tonight. There's a number attached to the show, 262-202-5131. Please share the show. Please share the show. Shout out to my sponsor, EPU Defense, EPUSDS.com. Man, go to their website, holler at the homie Fletch, man, personal defense. Jeff Crape, see you in the chat room. If you don't want to hit the line at 262-202-5131, you can get in the chat room. Jeff Crape, let me put him up. Let me put him up. Jeff is from the mill, and he's currently down in Houston, H-Town. He said, "What's good, gents? KB, the hoodies are wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, my brother. Y'all want to get some apparel, get some hoodies, get all that kind of good Outlaw Radio stuff. Inbox me. Mondays and Wednesdays is when we're here. Mondays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time until whenever, right? Till whenever. I'm kind of teasing the topic because I wanted everybody to get here. Black people, y'all know how we do it, right? I was on time. Right. I'm right around the corner. That means I ain't left the house yet. Real, what's happening, man?
Right, man. I was trying to find a parking spot. Cal.
I'm good. How y'all doing this evening?
Man, great. I see you put your pictures up of your work, man. I didn't know you was that nifty with a, you know what I mean? You're a young carpenter. Big ups to you for that.
Man, I appreciate it, man. You know, when you don't want to pay nobody else to do it, you figure some shit out.
There you go.
You
YouTube it, Google it.
Right,
right.
right.
And you're gonna be good at it.
It's the Monday Night Bomb. So this is our first punch of the week. So we always have to open by saying, Kamar, how was your weekend? Can he not hear me? Can Kamar not hear me? He looked dazed.
No,
Kamar, check your connect.
My computer tripping.
Okay. Okay.
What you said?
Right. I said, how was your weekend?
It was
He's
good.
off.
My weekend was good, man. But you know, I'm still off. Give me a minute.
Yeah, man. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Say, figure it out.
Give me a minute. It's got to warm up.
Well, you might have to go back and come in, Kamar. They usually work best when your computer is backsliding. He backslide. Computer got a reprobated mind.
Reprobated.
Real, how was your weekend, man?
Man, it was good. It was busy, so I'm still kind of tired, but shit, you want to see a change in your life, you gotta do something different in the day. So
there you go.
Shit, I work in the morning time and then fuck with my upper unit when I get off.
Okay. Mine was slow. Wasn't too much to it. Just chilling. Weather acting a fool. Nothing exciting. Nothing exciting, man. But I started to notice something over the weekend, and I said, I think I need to talk about this on the show. We'll pull some statistics and stuff up if we have to, but I thought it was very interesting that our mayor, our brother, this black man, came out and endorsed a white lady for county executive named Liz Sumner. I thought it was very, like, I hear black people talking about solidarity and stand with his brother, and he's a black man, and we had Michael S. Harper on here. Go back and listen to that show. Okay. If you listen to Michael S. Harper and you don't agree that he is brilliant and he should be, no doubt, the person who gets that job, the county comptroller, and he's a brother, he's a man of color. Our mayor endorses a white lady. I said, man, nobody said anything about this. Nobody. I'm wondering if we are the only ones who really that it's important to be black, right? Because I just don't hear people saying anything. I see a lot of us, we just want to have a good time and just party, because we'll party the problem away, I guess. So, it started to just, I'm like, okay, nobody gonna call dude on this, right? It's just like, like I said, we had the brother Michael Harper on here. And if you listen to that show, he's super, super intelligent, very knowledgeable about how the county works. This is obviously something that was done because our mayor has handlers. So I just felt some kind of way about it. I don't know how y'all felt about it. Did y'all see this? Or now that I'm telling you, how does it sit with you?
No, I didn't see it, Kev, but just
go ahead.
I didn't see it. No, I was gonna say I didn't see it, but I just feel like it's one of them situations where boss tell me who to back, and that's who I'm gonna back. You know what I mean? It ain't about what the people want. Again, I always, whenever they ask me, you know what I'm saying, what do I think is going on, I say, well, I don't think y'all working with the people. I don't think y'all doing what the people want. I don't think y'all representing the people. You know what I'm saying? Because if you was representing the people, I doubt if you would be backing a white lady to be the comptroller over this brother who we know what he doing.
And it's a nonpartisan position, but I'm guessing, because we discussed that when Brother Harper was on here, but I'm guessing this lady leans towards the Democrats. Well, this is obviously don't do this.
Kev, that's that bullshit though with politics. They tell you it's nonpartisan, but it still is because it's politics.
Right.
You know what I mean? Who people we want in that spot?
I guess my point is to him, apparently, the party is more important than the people. And I don't know him personally, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it. Like, and this is what I keep trying to tell people. Here's a mayor who's blatantly ignoring you in your face. I'm saying he's pulling Barack Obama part 2. Look at me, I'm black. And on the back end, you matter not, right? So, and I don't hear people saying enough about it. I think for the first time, I'm starting to come to a realization about people here in Milwaukee, in particular, people of color, that maybe it might be time to relocate. Maybe it might be time to go somewhere else. I mean, honestly, I mean, things, and this is just for me personally, and I'm not telling everybody else that. I understand why people leave. I understand why people stay. But I'm frustrated with the lack of any kind of movement. Like, we're so inactive right now, right? Wait till I got some numbers on this school system, and it's gonna make y'all trip. But who's talking about it besides Beverly Williams? Like, maybe some old people are talking about it at George Webb or wherever they eat breakfast at nowadays. I don't know. But I just don't hear enough people making noise about some of the stuff. This goes back to the tax increase. This goes back to some of the conditions that they accepted to get this money. I said, man, these people were asleep, and it still remains the same. He backed a white woman over a very intelligent, educated, experienced brother. Shout out to our mayor. Shout out to y'all mayor. Right? Fuck black people is what I feel like he was saying. Like, fuck y'all. Juice Lady, what's going on?
Hey, y'all.
What it do, poor dog?
Don't be hopping in my lane now. So my son been sweating me about Raising Cane's for the longest, so we just had to drive to Kenosha and grab some. But on the way back, we saw that they were building one on Capitol, and you know what he did? He applied. That's right. He went and put his application in right online.
There you go. Okay.
That's right. Well, but also, you guys, we are having our mayoral fundraiser Friday. You know, the mayor will be there from 5 to 6:30. So I feel like we really all should be there and bust up and ask some questions. Like, hey, man, you know, I feel like that's the perfect time for niggas to pop up and ask questions. Hey, but you know, what do I know? But hey, Friday at the Chamber of Commerce from 5 to 6:30, he'll be there. He will be in the building, so you can sweat him with all the questions you need to ask. Friday, 5 to 6:30.
That's cool, but does it even really matter if we ask him questions and he's able to kind of gloss over it? I mean, he's going to be in an event that's pro him. It's a fundraiser for him. You go in there making any noise, you will be removed.
Like, I mean, I don't think it's at the Chamber of Commerce. You might have a little bit of security, but no, you need to answer black folks' questions. We need to be in there like the Palestinian people be in there. And, hey, what are you doing? He tried to gloss over it with his little Obama stuff. No, we don't want to hear that. What you doing? I feel like we need to ask real questions, get real answers. Within his hour and 30 minutes that he there, until it's time for him to go, he gotta leave sweaty and like, damn, they was on my ass. That's how he need to feel when he leave there. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn.
You know, I used to say a while back, you know, we got to make these people feel uncomfortable when they come in the community.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just saying the way this program will be set up, I don't even know if there'll be a chance for questions and answers. And I also don't know that if you say I want to speak, they're going to say, well, what's your question? You're going to get put so far back just when you get to see it. We did this before when they did the 53206 documentary. All the city leaders was there, was on the east side. What is that? The Chinese theater, whatever it is, whatever that theater is on the east side. I can't remember what
the Oriental?
Yeah, the Oriental. I said Chinese.
Yeah, that's how I knew it was Oriental, because of you. I just
So we watched this, we screened the documentary. Everybody said, you want to talk? Yes. Barrett's there, all the leaders are there. We're standing there. I'm with the Panthers. They say, okay, we're gonna let y'all talk. They got up there and gave speeches. And just when we got ready to go on, they said, oh, we ain't got time. We ending it. Next time, come to the next one. I said, oh, no. So I got to imagine that this will be.
But this isn't going to be like that, though. Because this isn't, from what I've seen, I'm the one that's been, like, coordinating this, and I've sent out emails like it was the presidential. And what you doing? A lot of people have not signed up even to register. We only got like 39 people, and it's on Friday, and we didn't have it up for about 2 weeks. So people ain't really signing up like that. I don't think he has a group he coming. I mean, his little people, but ain't no other leaders coming. Ain't no evolved churches and all of that, and Barrett's and all. It's him trying to raise some money. Who knows? Maybe he can call a couple people to come, but I don't think it's gonna be a set question answer thing. I think it's gonna be him walking around trying to mingle and motherfuckers hopping on his ass while he mingling. Hey, you come here.
Well, I can
Come
tell
here.
you the groups that have endorsed him, because he's getting a lot of endorsements, especially from, like I said, the union. And this is what Erica Hunt was talking about, right? Like the union is, what is it, the EIIU or whatever it is? The union that Erica works for, they're involved in this, right?
Not at our event, but I
thought they
mean,
were. I thought it was an event that they was doing. Y'all was doing together.
no, we're maybe I need to figure something else out. But no,
Uh-oh.
we're hosting it. Look, he wanted to be there, but we know he's only gonna be there for so long because he got another event. So ours might not be he might be hopping from spot to spot trying to fundraise that night. Who knows? But I'm trying to tell.
All of this is more evidence that you ain't gonna get a chance to ask your question.
I think you will though. I really do. I think niggas need to slide
I mean,
in there, and it ain't too many people.
So okay,
you might
so
as well just
let
come
me
on.
ask you this. So you're gonna walk up to him and you say, "Hey man, how you gonna endorse a white lady over a brother?" That's
Yeah.
what and
Yeah.
yeah, he'll
Yeah,
probably
and see what he gonna say.
his
Like, well,
security probably like, get your ass-
no, we want to know the people. But I feel like then,
I would
they
love
come
to.
out here.
Hey, I'd love to hear him. I'd love to hear him squirm out of it.
Exactly. And then, I don't let somebody be recording like, damn, so Cavalier had his security get on somebody just because they asked a question. See, it can go all types of negative ways. Don't do that. I'm going to have my phone out.
We ought to pull up like the news, too. Outlawradio reporting live.
I already told Sean to be there. I think he's going to come with his little microphone or something.
We got a question.
Hey,
Sheriff,
you know what I'm saying?
Listen, hey, you brought up Sean Moore.
Get us some quick clickbait. Right quick.
Right.
Man, we gain a whole bunch of action, dog. We pick a whole bunch of action up. We catch Tom squirming saying some bullshit.
Exactly.
Sean Moore. You brought up Sean Moore. So let me say this. There's a ongoing situation between Vince Toney and Sean Moore.
Oh.
And I'm here to say this. Because both of them are my brothers. We all black men. And it's just personal. It's highly personal. And some, we've been kind of thrown in the middle like the baby of a couple getting divorced or something, right? Like
it's over that picture.
Well, it's about the picture.
This ain't funny.
It's about back and forth. It's about me. And this is when we have these platforms, this is kind of like the trap we have to avoid. Because we get to talking on here, we get to saying, this is real, this is real, this is real, and this is my truth, and this is what I want. And then somebody else don't agree. Two individuals have at it. So Sean has insulted Vince. Vince has fired back in Vince's way. And the controversy is about the picture of Sean Moore with the mayor and the county executive. Vince did it. Vince was very I don't know if it's passive aggressive or very just kind of like slick and slide with how he has utilized this photo. And Sean got pissed. And we was joking around with him on the show last week about it. And I didn't know he was really pissed about it like that. But he was pissed about the shit. Because he's saying Vince said this, that, and the third. Now, since then, Vince accused him of, and I thought it was a joke. And Kamara and myself talked about this, and we both kind of agreed that we didn't take it as, oh, yeah, he's taking money from,
right.
He's bought and sold. We just thought it was a funny ass joke.
I just thought it was funny, you know what I mean? You may catch me on a picture with little buddy, you know what I'm saying? But just to catch a motherfucker on the picture, it's funny, you know what I mean? There's something for somebody to say, hey, you must be taking some money. I just thought it was funny.
Hey, Kamar, damn well you will jump in the picture with him. If he comes to the sermon,
I don't think, you know what I mean? Like Sean Moore is sit drinking the Kool-Aid and no shit like that. You know what I mean? He just wound up on a picture with him. And Vince caught the picture. You know what I mean? And it was just funny at the moment, man. And the other night when we was cracking jokes, it really wasn't you know what I mean? It wasn't no serious shots taken or nothing, but it was just like that brotherly thing, man. We cutting on each other and shit, man. You know what I mean? That's all it was. It's funny, man. It's still funny. Like, I can't help it, man. When I think back, like, it's just funny because it was the timing. The timing is what made it funny.
Right.
I felt like the pictures, I mean, to me, whether we care for these people or not, you know, it is Black history. He is the first Black mayor, you know what I'm saying, in Milwaukee. Dave is the first Black county executive. So whether we feel like they're doing their job or not, you know, to have that photo, I even thought about getting my boys to have a photo because it is Black history and they are the first. But, you know, every time we was talking about him taking money, I thought we was talking about over at the hot spot. That's what I kept thinking about back when back when it was some hot spot discussions and that came up about Sean.
Hey, you know, I got a
Courtney, you dirty for that. Because you're not making it better. You're not making it better.
Look, you shouldn't have all this stuff on. You can't be getting mad because if it happened, it happened. You can't be all. I mean, you can be mad, but shit, if you did, you did. Like, it is what it is. Like, don't be. Hey, you did it. You took some cash.
No, and there's only one single reason that I'm even rehashing it, and that's because behind the scenes some stuff happened that shouldn't have happened, and it's stuff that could lead to somebody getting harmed, and so that's why I'm asking both of these brothers to dead the shit, and both of them are friends of the show, and they can come on anytime they want, but I can't have that. Especially if it's gonna lead to somebody getting their shit kicked in. So, but you know, like we said, that's a brother. Vince is my brother. Sean is my brother. It's like, and then I listened to Sean's show, and he kind of said, you know, he pays KB and all this and all that, whatever. He donates to the show. First of all, there's nothing wrong with you donating to this show. That's why the Cash App is at the bottom. If you want to purchase some apparel, there's nothing wrong with that. It does not mean that you're going to give me some money
to the show.
Right. It don't mean you're going to give me some money and I'm just going to let you come on here and be buck wild and footloose. Because, you know, on Outlaw Radio, anybody can get it.
Hey, so. But you know what's funny? That's the same joke that Vince said. You know what I mean? Like, you got donated to. It's the same joke.
Right. Kev taking money, right? Like,
Kev just took it and threw the ball at you. Like,
I just couldn't figure out how we got in the mix, but it's all love, man. It's all love, and it's maintenance, and it's really just maintenance for these. Like I said, we have these platforms, and we have to be very mindful of how we conduct ourselves. I'm not saying don't say what you want or hold back. I'm just saying understand if you fire off at somebody, more likely than not, they're gonna fire back at you. Now we got a back and forth, and then they say all's fair in love and war. So it shouldn't extend past these airwaves or these microphones or whatever, what have you. I'm so behind in the chat. So behind.
I can't even imagine old folks fighting. Like, they too old. Like, when I think of old people fighting, it'd be like little stick figures. Like the Rock'em Sock'em robots.
It's not that though. It's not.
But yeah, y'all should not be doing that though.
It's not him and Vince gonna meet up. They're not gonna meet up in Slapbox. Oh. It can extend itself to get other people involved. Yeah. And I want people to understand, if you think it ain't no criminals out here over 30, you're naive. It's a bunch of 40-something-year-old killers out here.
Almost definitely.
Yeah, you too old for this shit. Like, no, you too young for this. Like, it's like you gotta be aware. Jeff Crape in the chat room, he says, Kamar, he's gonna re-up with you. Shane Kruma, my brother. Peace, Outlaws from the Mile High Income and flooded city. Frontline Black News, the Revolutionary Agenda, and Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. I told y'all I got a little cold. Y'all got to excuse me. Under the weather. Dion said, man, we in this motherfucker. I'm ready to cut the fuck up. If Dion is ready to cut up, this will be a very interesting show, right? He said Trump, this is Ernest. He says Trump broke ass ain't got that $500 million in bond money. Trump is having some issues, but man, we'll see. Dion said, bro, we lost any time to celebrate St. Patrick's Day and fuck Black History Month.
Very true. I agree.
He said we lost anytime we do that. Yeah, I don't hear. Yeah, I don't hear. That's once again one of the things that I'm thinking about that kind of troubles me about. What about us? I mean, I don't. It's people who have a problem with you saying Happy Black History Month that will drink the shit out of a green beer. I've never understood it. It didn't make sense. I don't get it. And if you really
Because we need.
understand the nature of St. Patrick's Day, anybody out there with knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong. This is a celebration of this religious man who came to Ireland, and got rid of the black pygmies, which were the original Irish, allegedly. And so that's why people always say black people are Irish, because there's some accounts that say the pygmy Africans were in Ireland, and he's the one who came and led the armies and vanquished them. So happy St. Patrick's Day to you.
Because they wouldn't turn to Christians.
Right. And he represented the church. Yeah. That's what
I
you
bet
get
you if we add like a Hennessy Day to blow, I bet you that would be the most celebrated day of the Black History Month. We had a day that included a little bit more liquor. Niggas, you know what I'm saying?
No, here's the backwards part of it. How come you don't hear them mad, Irish people saying, oh, they got green beer, but I can't get no ice cream on Juneteenth Day? Black people be on some bullshit. They be on some bullshit.
Yeah.
Let me see. The mayor was chosen to take Barrett's seat, so that should tell you something about his stance on shit. He's a token. That's Dion.
Yeah.
That's very well put, Dion. I don't disagree. You know what? And I don't even like to do that. I don't like to call names like that. That's what I was just talking about that, about my brothers. But I feel like something has to be said, because I see people lining up now with the ass kissing lips. They're ready to start kissing. 4 years of this, where y'all think we're gonna be in 4 years as black people in Milwaukee with the current trend? Where do you think we gonna? What is our community gonna look like?
We're gonna be around there in the meadows.
That's okay. We're gonna be one. Yeah, move Juneteenth all the way out on Brown Deer Road. What the fuck? Jeff Crape said, I'm asking, interim mayor doesn't count. Well, he was elected in a special election. He wasn't necessarily interim. I guess it is kind of interim-ish. But you know, he's running now for the full joint, 4 years. Ewok said, Court, you add on now. I think he was talking about Courtney reference.
I was just saying what I remembered and what I thought. My bad.
No, shout out to Shine Moore, man. That's my brother, man. I just let me see. Jesse Perry says celebration of Black genocide. The TWA is what they were known as. Correct, Kev. Thank you. Okay. So I said, are we the only ones who still even give a shit? I think most black people look at a lot of things and say, I don't even fucking care. I feel like that's our attitude as black people. Man, it's so much shit going on in this city that's fucking dysfunctional. And I'm talking about from a leadership perspective, and we're just sheep. Supposedly, if you make up the majority of the city, you're supposed to hold some weight. This city is majority minority, supposedly, allegedly 44% black.
We at like 60 something now. I heard on the radio the other day. I heard we are the majority right now. We're not a good majority. We're fucking up, but we it right now. And we not just
I thought we were 40, 46, and then Latinos made up and I was just speaking from what we represent, not about
right. That's what I'm saying. I heard something the other day that we were like 60 now.
It might be the Latino.
I'm gonna check.
You talk about the Latino population and the Hmong population have expanded in this city. So when I say minorities, blacks are not the only minorities. I was just kind of saying we make up about 46% of that majority.
No, and I know, and I feel like I heard that the black portion, it was like 60 now.
Then that would make it 80 something, because you have to account for Latino people and minorities. And I know this.
I'm gonna go look at what I heard, because I feel like they said black folks, not just minority, but black folks in particular were like 60% of the city, not just minority. I heard the black folks. I'm gonna go look. How you know? How you gonna tell me, Kevin? You ain't even look. Did you look, Kevin?
Oh, I'm very familiar with the statistic. That's what I'm telling you. You can look at it and you'll see that I'm correct. Because that would make us, if it was 60% black and it was 25% the other minorities, that would give us 85%. This city is not 85% minority.
What if it is though?
It's not.
But what if it is though, Kev?
I don't know how you just gonna keep saying it. It's not. What if it is? It's not. What if it is? That'll be a long ass segment. We'll see. Look
But
it
it
up
could
for
be.
yourself. Look it up for yourself. Look it up. Look it up. Look it up. That's all I'm saying.
I'm about to look it up.
I hope you do. I hope you do. I would encourage you to. But yeah, like I was saying, man, we do for everybody else. There's really no particular stronghold on we don't hold our blackness near and dear. And I know there's a lot of us who do, right? But I'm saying I just don't see it when people come and do do disservices to our community. I don't see our reaction as being like what it should be, right? And we know the spirit of protesting. We had that period post George Floyd, like almost every large city did, where the protesting was what people were doing. And here, what do we have? 200-300 days a row with protests. There was groups. That's gone. Have you noticed that's gone? Has anybody noticed that is gone?
Yeah.
Right? So really, there's no outcry for anything that's happening. And so it's something that I'm looking at saying, okay, all right. Well, what is that about?
What should they be protesting right now?
Well, you know what? I wouldn't even say necessarily protesting. I'm glad you asked that question, because when you think about protesting, you're saying, walking around with the signs and whatnot. But I think those protests should have extended themselves into some action groups that are vocal and call for accountability, even with the media. So there should be watchdog groups for MPS, and the what they're doing right now wouldn't be happening. There should be political action committees that are on the mayor to say, how dare you, as a black man, endorse a white woman over a capable brother? It ain't like it's a hookup, like you throwing some incompetent dumb cat, like, yeah, I do the budget and shit, you know what I'm saying? They used to run plenty crack houses and shit. Not to discount him, because he's probably smart too. But if you listen to Michael S. Harper, and he's been around, he's been in front of people, this is a very intelligent, capable brother. And the fact that you don't endorse another brother, but you expect other brothers to support you, that's kind of weird. But I don't know, Rel, if it's supposed to be what it was, but I think there should have been something, extended in terms of activity that came as a result of that movement. So I just feel like we should be more vocal. I don't feel like we're vocal enough. It didn't seem like the people, and maybe they don't know how. It seemed like when the whole tax increase came, people were just kind of like, oh, that's some bullshit.
Hey, Kerry, you know what, though?
But they wasn't doing nothing about it.
First time I heard about it. This is the first time I heard that he was, supporting the white women over the black.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was supporting anybody, for that matter.
Yeah, it's this endorsement game where we endorse you and you endorse. That's what I'm saying about his fundraiser. I'm sure the people who endorsed him contributed to his campaign fund. So yes, they will be there at the event. Like, yeah, I'm from the Shepherd Express. We endorsed you. I've been looking at his endorsement. He has a union. He has a bunch of different people who say we endorsed him for mayor. What that really means is we are campaign contributors. That's what it means. Just
right. And he listens to, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Or he may take a lot of account into what we say.
We do have an opinion.
Right.
Right. Their opinion matters.
Right. And so you once again, is it wrong for myself and other brothers to assume that we need an injection of like blackness right now to revive ourselves? Because I just feel like we're going slowly along with all kinds of things that and I'm like, well, that's not good for black people. That's not something that's positive for black people. And nobody's really making a fuss. We've lost culture. Like right now, we don't have any how normally whatever's going on, our culture would represent it in song, book, movie, poem, whatever it is. Our culture is diminished. Musically, who's saying anything? Like movie wise, I watched the movie oh man, what was the movie? The one that got, I think they won an Oscar with Jeffrey Wright, American Fiction. It was a great movie. It was a great movie, like about, where we are right now as black people in this country. And he was an author, and so it was a great movie. And it was all about us, our narratives. And what's so crazy is he was talking about in that movie, writing books, and writing a book as a black man is an opportunity for you to write for us to write our own narratives. So y'all go watch that movie. It was dope, but it wasn't making a hard social stance on nothing. What happened to economic boycotts? What happened to that? I feel like, fuck it, Kev, I need them new Jordans.
Yeah, that's where we are at in the world now. Back in the day,
they said that when we was talking about economic boycotts. They was saying that then, like as we was speaking, man, fuck that. Them new J's coming out.
Exactly. Niggas is worried about so much other shit now, plus the internet and TikTok, and man.
Now motherfuckers losing their mind.
Yeah, we all fucked up now.
Here's some slickness. Joe Biden actually came to Milwaukee and spoke, and he announced this grant. He announced this grant for a street, for street improvements. It was $6-7 million. People's like, oh, what you think about that? What you think about that transportation grant? Joe Biden created all these jobs. He's in the last 6 months, he's created 23 million jobs in the country. And then you find out that they also passed a $300 million relief package for Ukraine after initially stating that they didn't have any more money. $300 million. Y'all was happy about a $7 million street improvement grant. He gave the Ukrainians, who I don't believe contribute shit to America. What kind of economic relations? What trade do we do with Ukraine? What was their cash cow industry?
Citizens that will vote Democrat in the future.
Pretty much.
Well, it's not. They would have to be in America to vote.
They get
from Ukraine.
They coming here and they're getting access to benefits when they come here. So it's a lot of different background, like the Afghanistan folks. Like there were ways or there were things that allowed them to get benefits. So there are special immigrants being allowed to come here and getting access to state benefits when they get here.
I'm just talking about sending $300 million to Ukraine. That's crazy.
Why? They sending money over there, bringing people over here.
What the benefit of sending $300 million to Ukraine is? Like, I hear a lot of black people who love the Democrats. Oh, I'm a Democrat. I'm a card-carrying Democrat. I'm a Democrat. But when I asked them, what is that? Well, don't you think we can use three? You got MPS is asking for $252 million in a referendum. And you sending $300 million to Ukraine. I know one's federal. I get it. I get what you're saying, but we're being asked for $252 million. And that money that he's donating is our money too. That's tax money too. That's tax revenue. So I don't hear people really kicking up. All you black Democrats, Massa, where Massa at? Ask Massa why he doing you like that.
They said foreign relief is just another word for money laundering and wealth exchange.
Come on, man.
I like that for real.
That's what I read.
You damn conspiracy theorists.
Right.
You got theorized now. It's blatant. They ain't scared of shit. After we showed them what they could do with the whole COVID shit and how much people will comply, they like, okay, cool, it's sweet. Let's do whatever to them, and as long as we ain't telling them that they got to go back in the house, they okay.
And see, this is what I was talking about. What Jesse Parrish is putting in the chat room right now. He says minority is that brand, that broad and ambiguous language, Kev, along with people of color and communities of color and marginalized, etc. And that's what I was saying when we say minority. It's not just black people. I just dissect the portion of it that we play. You feel what I'm saying?
lot of under a lot of shit, they consider white women a minority.
And gay people too now.
Exactly.
So like with those government grants for business and shit like that, it's a cat named Jason White, and that's who I wanted to talk to that Mike about, because Jason White be showing how they got so many grants for businesses and opportunities for get them government contracts for minority businesses that bid. So shit, I'm gonna have to pick his brain, see how we can make this knowledge and his connections work.
I'm not a white woman to put on my.
I just don't see. I don't see us disagreeing enough, and all of the stuff we're talking about is in the People's News Network. So if you want to read more on this stuff, go in there. That's why I don't go specifically into X and O's about that. But you, like we say, we don't tell you what to think. We just say think. Go and read it for yourself. This is Shane Crumey says, damn, that's crazy. Y'all a majority black city and are still having a hard time getting these elected officials to do something specifically done for black people from your city government. Well, I'll throw you a bone. I mean, they made MLK a couple blocks longer last year, didn't they? Michael King Boulevard. There we go. Martin Luther King is his rap name. Erica Hunt said, what up, Outlaws? Erica, I'm glad you're listening.
Peace.
My thought was that this event, this fundraiser for Lil Buddy, our mayor, that's going to be at the Black Chamber of Commerce, I thought you all were involved in this. Courtney says she thought it was separate. If you're listening, Courtney, what role is, or do you all have a different one? I'd like to know about both of them, because they want us to stand with him, but he don't stand with us. He wouldn't he didn't even endorse a brother. Michael, there's no denying that Michael Harper should have received his endorsement. Yeah. He endorsed a white woman. Little buddy, come on, man. I always say either you with us or you against us. We got to make up our mind. Courtney, I'm waiting. Are you doing your research or what? You getting settled? Because I'm.
What am I doing my research on?
Well, you jumped out the window and said, "I'm gonna check that statistic about minorities."
Oh, I did, and it just kept showing shit for 2020. It didn't show nothing updated to right now, so I have to do a deep dive. But
well, you said you saw it somewhere. You can't go back to where you had saw it.
I heard it.
Oh, you heard?
Somebody on the radio saying this.
Heard it through the grapevine.
Sherwood Hughes, your educated brother.
Okay.
Your other microphone fam.
I got it. We got to get his data, because I'd like to see where it says 60%.
Yeah.
Does that make it even more stupid for us to be going for the banana in the tailpipe? Shabaka St. Core, greetings, Outlaws. Well, hold on, too, but you can depend on 2022 statistics. That's a year and a half ago. This population ain't grew that much in a year and a half. So what is 22?
I feel like it was 2020. Hold on. Let me go back to my.
Okay. You want to be the research lady? Research now.
Hold on. It's 2020. It's showing me a 2020 statistic, not 2022. Okay. 2020. So all right.
I'd like to know what it said, because I know our population ain't. We haven't had a black explosion.
At the time, so yeah, we were at like 38 point something close. Then I saw something else at 40%. So yeah, but your number was correct, Kevin. That's
all I needed. Okay. That's all I needed. Right. That's all I needed. It would have been better if we could have seen your face when you said it, but I'll take that. You was right, Kev. It's okay. Shabaka said, please check us out tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central. So he has their link there for Shabaka's experience. Okay, Erica said, so now you can see my face. Courtney was right. She said we are separate events. So he has so you were right in that regard. It's all y'all solo dolo on Friday night. Let me see. She said we can't. Courtney, you muted too. I don't know if you're trying to talk. Erica said, I'm a participant in any event that is tailored for union members to collectively voice their position and needs to Mayor Chevy. Our aim is to bring his attention to the priorities of working class people that require his attention. That's dope. I like how you said that. That sounded like real, like professionally PR driven. Didn't it though? I like that. That was dope how you did that, Erica. We had some other controversy on this show, because a continuous conversation and argument that we've had is about the existence of crack babies. And so I want to revisit the crack baby conversation. Because sometimes when you talk loud, like two people get to talking and you feel like, well, whoever is the loudest wins the argument, which is far from the truth. You can be as loud as you want. First of all, let's talk about Google. And Kamar, Rail, Courtney, I want y'all to tell Kamar, how dependable do you think Google is as a source of finding information?
I think it's a start. It's the starting point.
Okay.
It's a great place to start. That's it.
Is there some invalid information on Google? Absolutely. But is there some valid information on Google?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because, see, Google, I think that's more about, like, well, all information can be out there. Like, say, for instance, water, right? You're going to have some people on there that can tell you water is good for you, and you're going to have some people on there that's going to tell you water is bad for you.
This is true.
Like, you can have some people on there that's going to tell diabetics they can't eat fruit, and you're going to have some people on there to tell diabetics they should eat fruit. So, like, depending on whatever perspective you have, you can find that perspective on Google. So that's why I say it's a good starting point.
First, okay, Real, do you ever look on Google? Do you Google things and say, I know I can find it if I look on Google? Or are you just like,
yeah, all the time.
Okay. It's a search engine. First of all, I think people have to understand what it is. It's a search engine. Google doesn't give you information. It takes you to places where you can find the information and you click on it. And there are such things as there's Google Scholar, in which if you really want academic papers, really, really intellectual papers about different things, go on Google Scholar. So when we talk about the crack baby thing, we're gonna expand on that. Dion, before I even pop my spiel on this, you got something on your mind because you called early. What's popping with you?
I did call early. I don't know how early it was that I called, but I'm calling now. I was listening to you guys earlier.
This is early.
yeah, I was listening because I be calling when I be on my way from Oshkosh, so I had to drop
so
the
it's
trailer.
normally later. It's normally later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I ain't taking no nap today, so yeah. So the thing is about that I was listening to you. So how can I sum this up? Because you said a lot of things, and then I got that in between window. Like right now, I don't know what y'all talking about. I just know what y'all talking about before then. So the situation with Ukraine. In order to understand why the USA is aiding Ukraine, you got to understand the Cold War. You got to understand what happened when the Soviet Union, I think when it was the USSR and when it disbanded to the Soviet Union. You understand? So when you dig into that, you will understand a little bit more on why the USA backs Ukraine financially, and they're sending them old arms that's out of date over here, so they're helping them with the war over there. Now, as far as us with certain things like Chevy, oh my God, I don't even know. Like sometimes that's why I can never say that maybe I don't regret voting or whatever. But some people I just like, who do you go to the ballot and you see all these nimbuses and you be like, oh, I'm gonna vote there. You know, like Chevy wants to come across like you said as Obama. And it's sad that I could never, that's why I couldn't run for office. Because I could never get up there in front like, we're not having issues as Black people. And I don't really think a lot of us really understand what it, like the river runs so deep, Kev, you just don't know. Like, I used to like Africa, I've said that before. But I was looking at a documentary a couple of weeks ago about Africa. And they did the same thing, even worse. Like, each of those cities in Africa, those states are named after Europeans. Like European went over there and said, oh, this mine. You know, oh, this mine. You know, like our struggle runs so deep that you can't blame or can nobody really understand the psychological damage that has been done to us. Like some of that shit is irreversible. I don't care what you say. You can sit up there and be like, well, I went to school and I got me a master's degree and blah, 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 blah. It's irreversible. No, I'm not talking about you, Cam. Listen. I'm not talking about you.
Oh, I thought you was talking about me.
I'm saying people in general. You know, the Tim Scotts of the world. And
right.
That shit they going through when it's like
CB going in and out.
Made life so good for you that done this and done that. Like, how can somebody give you your freedom? Like right now over there with Haiti, I'm gonna tell you how cold the white folks is, right? The motherfucking Haitians won their freedom, kicked the French ass. The French said, you motherfuckers gonna pay us. Do you know they made the Haitians pay them reparations? The French made the Haitians pay them reparations. All you gotta do, as you talk about the search engine, just look for it. You go to Bing, Duck, Goose, wherever you want to go. Just look for it. The Haitians had to pay the French Revolution. Pay them reparations. You understand what I'm saying? That's why when you look, people will look at Haiti like, oh, it's a bum country. Them people been sending money back to France for a war that happened back in the 1800s.
Are you paying attention to what they're doing in Haiti right now?
That's something different, though. You know, the USA put that person, the United States of America, because you remember when Dirty Bill Clinton was in office, but we'll just start right there. That person that's in power now, he was placed there by the USA. Like, man, our hand, the United States, not us as black people, but the United States, man, their hands is like tentacles of an octopus.
But Dion, I'm saying
you understand what I'm saying?
They're attempting to overthrow their government, right? And
they overthrowing their government because they know their government fucked up. Somebody opened their eyes, they got woke, and they see like, why y'all fucking us over? We all supposed to be the same people. Okay. So that's the same thing that Chevy basically doing to us.
We need to overthrow the government. That's what we need to do.
Raise up our taxes. They raised our taxes for one. You know, then they telling us all, well, MPS, and God knows I work at MPS. You see the food. I know they ain't get $200 million for the food that they eat because the food look like goddamn eagles throw up. You know what I'm saying? You be like, these kids eat this shit. They gonna have acid reflux, irritable bowel syndrome, all type of shit. And they already silly as a motherfucker up in there from the drugs and shit. Their parents been inducing. You know what I'm saying? Using. Like, man, listen, man, bro. When I tell you shit is fucked up with black people, man, it is, man. Yeah, we got the few look at Michael Jordan. You will look at that nigga like, oh, that's a good nigga. Woo, woo, he made money, he made it out. That nigga don't never. I know he's from North Carolina. I know he's seen niggas get hung. His uncles probably got a foot in their ass. No, his family's from North Carolina.
I thought they came from
Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? No, his family from North Carolina.
To Brooklyn? No, he's from Brooklyn, though.
No, I don't think he's from Brooklyn, bro. He's from Carolina. Why you think? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know Brooklyn. Yeah, research it. You know, his family came from a Confederate state. So you mean to tell me, MJ, you ain't seen no racism, but that nigga ain't never raised a finger to say a word? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of shit that go on with us, man, is just so fucked up, and it just goes back to the oppressor, man. And these white people, man, like I said, I'm gonna end before I get up out of here.
Hold up, before you leave, Michael Jordan was born in Brooklyn, New York, on February 17th.
Born.
Hold on.
I was born in Camden, Arkansas, but I wasn't raised down there. I was raised in Chicago, Illinois.
I just said, hold on.
I'm from Crenshaw Mafia.
I said he's from Brooklyn. You said no, he's not.
You African booty structure.
Listen,
Crenshaw Mafia.
Chicago. I'm from Chicago. I was born in Camden, Arkansas, but guess where I spent 18 years of my life at and learned about this nation, this growth and development. The mob. I was Chicago. So I'm going to claim Chicago all day long and Milwaukee in my back pocket too. So fuck where he was born at. You know what I'm saying? You could have been born in Germany. You weren't raised in that motherfucker. You don't understand what I'm saying? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm talking about the tentacles of white supremacy, how it's stretched around the world and just fuck shit up. So it ain't going to be ended. It'll probably never be ended in our time. So Chevy going to go ahead and he going to keep on endorsing white people. They going to keep on putting the middle finger up in our booty, and we going to sit up there and take it and be like, oh, he's the first black man. We going to go vote. I wish I would pick up a ballot. And I'm going to keep it real. Maybe they do need Trump back up in there because I feel like this, and I'm going to end it. I said that earlier. But listen, the reason I say that, don't care, because this democracy needs to be destroyed and collateral damage, man. I ain't going to lie to you. And if I'm willing to die to be part of collateral damage, so maybe the people after me can have it better than me, then so be it, goddammit. But this world needs to be destroyed, man. This United States of America needs to be destroyed because it's not right. Everybody hate us over the world, man. And until the United States be destroyed, it'll always be fucked up. But I'm gone, though. I got my boo on the other end, too, because she holding on while I'm talking to y'all. So I'm about to talk about
damn boo.
Now. What? Mama, you would have been my boo. Sitting up there talking on the real, what's your name is? Courtney, don't make me go there with you. Don't
Whatever.
do that.
I didn't
talk to
even
your
hear
boo
her say
now.
nothing. I didn't hear her say nothing. Did you say something? I didn't hear.
Yeah, I said you ain't got no damn boo.
Oh.
like he caught them words, didn't he?
Yeah, I didn't even hear it. I didn't even hear it. Yikes.
They got Dion on the watch list somewhere.
You know they do.
Well, yeah.
You know they do. Look, his phone tapped a little bit.
A lot to unpack.
Yeah, Kev, it's about where you raised at. It ain't where you was born at. I was born in Washington, and I ain't out here saying I'm from Washington. No, I was just born there.
Right, but you ain't from Milwaukee. You live in Milwaukee.
I don't say I'm from Washington.
Where you say you from?
I usually say El Paso.
Okay,
that's kind of like where my.
But you don't say Milwaukee though, right?
No.
See, okay, so thank you.
But I'm sure Michael Jordan will say he's from North Carolina. He from New York. I mean, Brooklyn.
They're in the chat room saying he moved when he was 5, but that to me that still means he's from Brooklyn. I
guess if he stayed there that long, I feel like it's definitely a difference if you were just born there and moved immediately.
I understand that. I understand that. But you're still from there though.
That's what Kev. I was agreeing if you would have let my words finish. I was agreeing with you if you would have let me finish. Thank you.
Tired of letting people finish.
I see that. All right.
Let me finish. Damn it. I want Dion had a whole bunch to say, and we can talk about some of that. But I don't want to miss the crack baby thing. And the reason why I said this is because I am under no illusion that you can harm your child if you're a pregnant lady and you smoke crack, right? No different than if you smoke cigarettes or you drink alcohol or you eat the wrong foods or you live in really stressful, poor conditions. You can harm your child. I wouldn't tell nobody, hey man, ain't no such thing as a crack baby. Smoke up while you're pregnant. I wouldn't say that. What I'm saying is the concept of what a crack baby was portrayed to us as, especially during the height of the crack epidemic, was a false narrative. Okay, they doomed this whole generation of kids to fail. But the people who've done the research, I ain't talking about people who eyeball and perp. I'm talking about the people who've done the research say the statistics don't add up. These babies were not doomed to hell. This generation, they said this generation was going to be walking around like zombies and fucking just brainless and helpless and crazy and blind and crippled. It didn't happen. It did not happen. You can't compare heroin and crack because it's two different kinds of drugs and they have two different kinds of biological effects on the body. So people say, well, heroin well, it's heroin babies, but they don't say heroin babies. They say crack babies. Do you not know that them pushing this crack baby narrative justified them building more new prisons and saying, let's get our justice system ready. Let's get our court system ready because we're going to have a whole bunch of them going in. And so by us saying, oh, you're a crack baby. So when you go to the school to prison pipeline, it's just cannon fodder. I'm saying there's no such thing. No baby's born addicted to crack. There's not been a baby born addicted to crack. The genesis of the term, if you watch this documentary, if you read there's so much research to be done about this that it is a false narrative. Now people say these kids now, they got all kinds of, there's something wrong with them. Yeah, but look at our food now. Look at our food now. I was just looking at Cali Muscle. Cali Muscle is a bodybuilder who is a very popular YouTube content creator. And for a long time, he would come on, he was a bodybuilder. So he was taking steroids, he was doing all this kind of crazy stuff. He'd had these mukbangs where he'd go to Wendy's and be like, give me the whole menu, one of everything. And then he'd go somewhere and eat it all. Well, he almost had a heart attack and all this, so he's become label conscious. He picked up a bottle of Coke, and I love Diet Coke and people think it's weird because why would a fat dude drink Diet Coke? But it tastes better to me. But the high fructose corn syrup and all of this kind of stuff that they have in this soda is deadly. Our kids grow up drinking this. All we eat is processed food. So and some kids don't even eat at all. So when you encounter kids and say, oh, this kid, what's wrong with our kids? Most of them ain't crack babies. Most of them ain't crack babies. These kids are 14, 15, 16 years old. They parents, they're not crack. Well, their parents was.
They yellow 5 babies, red 40 babies, blue 6 babies. Them fruity pebbles and shit is nothing but sugar and poisonous dyes. And I mean, I ain't gonna say fruity pebbles, but you know, a lot of those cereals
pipe
that have
lateral.
sugar and dyes are illegal in European countries.
Lead pipe lateral babies. We know
Right.
what we found about the lead pipe laterals. So I'm just saying, people are quick. No, you can't tell me. Yeah. They will totally ignore the research and say, well, you can't depend on Google. I love how every time somebody don't have research and you do, they say, you got that off Google. You can't depend on Google. But you ask them, where did you get your research from?
That's the same thing they say, like all through COVID and shit. I'm tired of you YouTube experts. But
Right.
it's like there's like in the morning when I'm meditating, smoking or whatever, I watch TED Talks just to learn something new on YouTube. These are scholars. These are academic professionals. I watch, like I'm still into theology. So I watch a lot of different theology professors and shit like that when I be learning the shit that I be talking about. So there are experts on YouTube, but when people don't want to change their thinking, they write off your sources so that, or just like calling somebody crazy or a conspiracy theorist, it gives them the permission to dismiss whatever. Because like even TikTok now, I learned a lot of information on TikTok because it's open source. It allows everybody to share something. And then you have to vet what you learned and do your own independent research. If you're an actual scholar,
vet the information. I like that.
Always.
You got to vet your sources.
You got to get 3 sources. One biased, one unbiased, and one
neutral.
That's neutral.
Yeah.
And then you read it. And that's what I was going to say when you asked me if I use Google all the time. But I grew up, I grew up, I used to just read Wikipedia for fun. And then it'll have a hyperlink in it to another definition. I click on that one and read the motherfucker. I was doing that shit before, it became popular. But I was like in school, we were trained on how to do research.
Right. Well, I'm a 70s baby, so I grew up reading the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Right, the whole volume.
The whole volume, because my mama done got one from a rummage sale just to put in the book cabinet in our room, in the living room, and nobody ever uses except for me. I just go in there and look through them all. So
yeah,
and I can compare that to what I see on Google. Yeah. Caller, you live on OUTLAWRadio. What's on your mind?
What's on your mind, Outlaws? This is Erica Hunt. How y'all doing tonight?
A little congested, Erica. But we'll make it. What's up, Erica?
Hey y'all. Hey, Courtney. I do plan on attending that event, so I'm looking for the information that you guys are organizing as well, Courtney. So I'll be in the house there. Hopefully, if my schedule doesn't conflict. But I do work with the chambers. I actually went through their boot camp program and was really satisfied with the outcome of it. Real, that's a good source because they is talking about them contracts and how to get your money that way. So definitely check out into the chambers about that. We also talking about Google. I love Google. I also came from an era where if we wanted to know that information, we had to go to the library down the corner, right? Now you could get all your information in the palm of your hand, along with all your money and other needs. So yeah, I appreciate Google. It definitely be spell checking my work sometimes. Can
you ask your mayor why he would endorse a white woman over a black man who's very capable? I mean, because we want to stand with him, right? As a black man, we want to support him, but it don't look like he want to stand with us by him endorsing this white lady over Michael Harper. And I'm being biased on purpose. So if anybody white's listening yes, I told you, anytime I see 2 people competing and one of them black, I'd be like, I hope the black dude win. That's how I feel.
But what if he tell you straight up? Because Chris Aberly told me to.
Okay. Oh, then I would be satisfied, Courtney. I would be very impressed. That might make me vote for him. I might say, you know what, my brother, I might shake his hand and say, I can respect that. Psych. I would run far and near with that message and spread it everywhere. Goodness. I'd be like Johnny Appleseed. I'd be all in Racine with that shit. But yeah, no, Erica, I go on Google, but like Rail said, I believe in vetting the information. But even if you go to the library and you're reading books, you got to understand from whose perspective the book was written from. right? Like Dion referenced the Cold War. And so you could read some Marxist Leninist groups publishing from the Cold War and you think communism and socialism was the best way to go. Right. But then
I know, but I want to get back to your question. Can I ask him? I am actually conducting a survey amongst my members in the downtown Milwaukee area to find out what it is that they want to ask the mayor. Collectively, I'm gonna have a couple representatives from each industry that we represent, voicing what the collective people think.
Do they even know? Will they even do they know who he's endorsing and who's endorsing him? I don't think they're knowledgeable voters. I think they'll say,
people know who the mayor is.
But they know who he is, but do they know his policies? You know who he is and you're standing for him, but you don't know his policies.
Well, since I've been out there, this is Outlawradio, and this is just Erica Hunt speaking, not nobody else. That's my little disclosure. However, a lot of people have been communicating that they feel like he's dropped the ball as well.
Okay.
So they agree with you. There's a lot of people that agrees with the opposite party to say that, you know what, well, we think he's trying to make an effort. Okay?
Yeah.
So there is a split opinion about that situation, and I'm definitely open to any of the questions that you may have. Definitely shoot them to my inbox. I will look at them. I will add them to the list. And then when we vote on which of the 3 issues from each industry, the top 3, because we can't look at them all, because we understand it's been a long time since somebody got in those workplaces and made some changes.
Well, hold on, though. Am I missing the bus here? Is it significant that a black man who's running for a public office and he wants black people to support him, is it significant that he does not endorse another black man? Maybe I'm making a big deal out of nothing.
I haven't heard about that, so I can't give you my opinion about it. Because last time y'all tried to get me
No, you got yourself last time. You got yourself last time. You getting yourself now, because when you go to the People's News Network, you're gonna see the story, the write-up about it. I didn't make this up. This ain't something I heard through the grapevine. This is actual factual. He has endorsed.
Okay. Well, I spent my day talking to the members.
Her name is Liz Sumner, for the record. Her name is Liz Sumner.
But yeah, I'm definitely open to taking any questions that you may want to put across the board. And when we get ready to talk about what questions we're going to be asking Mayor Chevy, I will take those up in consideration.
There you go.
So, yeah. But I am also 80s baby. So, you know, they told us that I was an 80s baby. But I want to shine the light on all the children they sold during that time that was pipelined back through the system to continue to make greedy corporations more money. Even if they call it the jail system and the foster care system private entities, but they've done a lot of selling folks' kids out of that. And I wonder how much money did they really make? And this might be a question for Real or any of the listeners, but how much money did they really make off stealing them babies during the crack epidemic? And then they kept telling you that your baby was a crack baby, so automatically they got the rights to your baby and took your baby from you and sent you to jail. When
I remember that.
Said the resource, they stole hundreds of kids. I was one of them, and my family was a family of 6. We had 6 kids.
Because of a false narrative, because they said
because of that.
Yes, the kids did catch this out. When you grew up in the system, they treated you so badly that they told me because I was a crack baby, they had to hold me back a year in school.
Damn.
Kindergarten, first grade.
Okay.
Hey, you're right. Hey, I remember that, man. And I remember when girls was getting pregnant and they was getting in trouble because they was even on weed, because they had weed in their system. They was getting in trouble and getting their kids taken.
Yeah, they when you go to the doctor's appointments, they ask you, are you on any kind of substances? And then they said according to the documentary, they were saying women were saying thinking that they were going to get some kind of treatment or help, you know, and all it did was make it to where they were put on the list to be like drug tested as soon as the baby was born, and then they were
criminally convicted.
Yeah, they would charge them with a criminal offense.
Yeah.
Get their kid, take their kid, put them in some foster care where a lot of them were abused sexually, mentally, emotionally, all kinds of stuff. And I knew some kids who were adopted by a family that they specialized in taking children that were told special care because it was a fatter check. So they had a whole big ass farm full of special needs kids collecting bank.
This is what I'm saying, and I don't. Once again, I want people to. I'm not naive enough to think that crack does not harm in utero babies, right? Like I don't want people to think Kev is saying crack just it ain't gonna hurt. What I'm saying is they created a false narrative over a concept that really wasn't. And they utilize it, like Erica said, to take people's children, to lock black people up. And the whole time, the science was all off. It was all flawed, right? One of the epidemics that we face right now with these kids is not because of crack necessarily, because most people say, well, their grandparents smoked. Well, whose fault is it, goddammit? Because what we look at is just a lack of parental skills right now. And when you take men from the community and you take women and tell them they don't need the men, it's no wonder our kids are the way they are right now. So I'm not blaming crack in 2024 for kids graduating from MPS and can't read. I'm not doing
I'm
that.
blaming the system that flooded the communities with crack in order to have a reason to say we taking the men, we taking the children.
That's numero uno. Thank you. Yeah, blame the system, right? Let me catch my chat room. Jesse said crack babies are grown now, Kev, damn near 40 years plus. Well, you gotta think about 1994 was 30 years ago. So a lot of the majority of the crack babies that they talking about were born in the early 80s. So yeah, some of them are grandparents right now. I'm not, but some of them are. They got grown kids. I meet cats all the time, 10 years younger than me, that got grown kids. Like, man, no, both of mine grown, Kev. It's just like, what? They got you 20.
Yep. But that crack baby issue is something else. I appreciate you always accepting my calls. So I'll chat with y'all later. But remember, SEIU is doing a meet and greet with the mayor it's going to be March 30th.
Peace.
I'll keep y'all posted up and on updates. And just don't forget to send me those questions so I can at least put them on the list of questions to ask.
Yeah, the mayor will be there with a bunch of white people. There you go.
Because I'm all about.
He loves white people.
I hope us colored people, as they say, show up, because I'm still gonna have my brown ass there with my list of questions.
There you go. Get it in. Get your money. Get your money.
Peace out, y'all.
Yes, ma'am. Peace and love.
Love to the Outlaw family.
I got you.
Peace.
Jesse says Chevy is a coon. He reminds me of Denver's former mayor, Michael Hancoon, of 12 years. I can't call him a coon. That's not where I'm driving. I'm not here to say he's a coon. I'm saying he's more of a tool than a coon.
Right.
Like he's more of a
political. I don't even know him personally.
Right. Yeah. For me to call him a coon would mean I had to have evidence of him really dancing a jig in the present.
Like, you know what I mean? Doing something that's really detrimental to us.
I was kind of slanted when I seen him with the Chevy, with the Fonzie statue, and he had his arm around it with the white women. I was like, that looks very funny, peculiar, but I can't say he's a coon. I just think he's a tool, and he's a tool of the machine. But this machine is a machine that perpetuates our oppression. Right. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Like he's an agent of the evil regime, and this regime is evil because for 50, 60, 70, 80 years, it's specifically in the city of Milwaukee, black people have been treated like shit, for lack of a better term. But they figured out that if we see somebody who look like us, like I said, I always want the black dude to win. So they say, listen, a nigger's gonna vote for the nigger. Trust me, niggers love niggers. Unless we give them a little money,
vote for Chevy.
Unless we give them a little money, then they'll vote with us. They'll vote for Trump. But most of those poor niggers are gonna vote for him.
Kevin's gonna vote for Chevy.
Right. Right. Kevin, don't you love the mayor? Well, am I supposed to hate him? No.
No, not at all.
No, but I'm going to say what I'm going to call a spade. No pun intended. Tiarsha said Haiti used to be a beautiful island until they had to keep paying. Dion is very right about how they became poor. That and about 70 earthquakes. I mean, just where it's located at is just a bad situation. Naturally, from what I hear, with the hurricanes and the earthquakes, that's also contributed to the state that they're in. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. How many horrific earthquakes and hurricanes has Haiti suffered in the last 20 years? A bunch of them. It's hard. I had to keep rebuilding this shit. Jeff said for the record, Michael Jordan moved to North Carolina when he was 5. To me, from Brooklyn. I say from Brooklyn. I don't care what people say. She said, let's talk about MPS. We're going to get into MPS. Jeff said, from my memory, I probably should have looked that up before I said that. MPS upper management not doing their job. MPS is a complicated situation. She said, 414 born and raised. I left and came back. Let me see. Mama Jenkins. How you doing, Mama Jenkins? She said, good evening, my outlaw family. Let's make it do what it do. Let's talk about Little Buddy commercials, safe streets, crime, and other non-productive shit. Shameful. Vote no on the referendum. Yeah, the commercial, Mama Jenkins, the commercial. Look, this show is turning decidedly anti-Chevy, and I don't want it to be that way. But sometimes you just can't hide the truth. The commercial, come on, man. They should have just said his mama was a teacher and his daddy worked third shift. This shit he did. Traffic incidents are down 21%. Are y'all paying attention? People dying on the freeways. People dying on at intersections. What city do this dude live in? It's you should feel like it's an insult to your intelligence that he says this kind of stuff. I'm like, bro, you know we actually live here, right? We know you lying. I guess that's what I'm saying. Let me see. Shay is saying, I know some crack babies, Kev. Their mothers actually smoked crack when they were pregnant, and they had all kinds of birth defects and water on the brain, amongst other things. Once again, I wouldn't deny that crack can do damage to babies. But what I'm saying is they defined a whole generation of black children based on crack. It didn't matter. They didn't wait around to see if the baby was going to be born deformed. They said, all those kids are fucked. So we got to be proactive and create a situation and a system where we can handle the influx. And that's what they did. That's why we have mass incarceration. That's what the criminal, the super predator shit was about. That's what all of that passing of that was about in the 90s when you regulate it. So I'm not saying babies aren't affected by crack. What else was she doing while she was pregnant, though?
Right.
That's we have right now in Milwaukee, we have one of the highest infant mortality rates in the world, not just the country. We're on par with third world countries with our infant mortality rate. Crack ain't the drug of choice today. So now we got to say Percocet babies. We got to say lean babies. We got to say loud babies, hookah babies. We might as well just start labeling everybody based on what they mama and them did and say that's where they going. Mama Jenkins said she watched TED Talks. It helps her a lot. It helped her a lot when she was in college. She said it's great information. She said, I still got mines and great resources. My brother Everett Gransberry is in the chat room. Welcome aboard, my brother. He says, I have a question. Did the research cover the pre-baking soda-based version of crack that was processed with ether? Just wondering about the effect ether had on the body. Good evening, brothers, by the way. How you doing, my brother? That's a very, very, very good question. And I don't have the answer.
Excellent question. Because what's that, freebase?
Well, was it ether? I thought freebase was always the cook up. I didn't never know ether came into play. So
I thought that's how they did. Ain't that how Richard Pryor caught on fire?
I don't know. I thought he poured 151 rum all over himself and lit a lighter and caught on. I'm for real. That's what I thought. He was smoking crack and he poured the one. If you ever drank 151 rum, you know that it's basically gasoline in a bottle. Somebody research it. I thought he lit.
I know one of his stand-ups, he said he was enjoying some milk and cookies. He dipped the cookies in his milk and it blew up.
Yeah, okay. He was enjoying some milk and cookies. All right.
Oh man.
I would love to know that, though. I would love to know that because, like, in my own personal experience, the way we converted powder cocaine to crack cocaine,
water, baking soda, and cocaine.
There we go. Nobody had no ether. Come on, go get the ether.
Then, I do remember, like, sometimes they would use something like to keep the fire lit, like they'd get some tissue. You know what I mean? I done seen them dip a cotton ball in some alcohol. You know what I mean? To keep the fire burning.
Right. But
you know, I done seen that, and I don't know if that got something to do with it. Like, I never seen nobody freebase.
I think they said when they learned how to make crack cocaine, it was a simplified version of freebase, which amplified the potency, but easier than fucking with that ether and shit because people were blowing up.
Okay. He said pre-baking soda, so we got to assume that this is, you know,
I think that's how George Clinton them did they shit. That freebase.
Maybe that's what I was finna say. Maybe this when it was still a celebrity drug.
Like, yeah, you had to have some money and some knowledge to freebase.
Yeah, cocaine was a rich man's drug at one point.
Carly, you live on Outlaw Radio. What's popping?
I just wanted to say real quick. I know I've heard people who've used those drugs say that it was a big difference between when a woman just used cocaine and did everything else that came after that, including crack, right? So like the cocaine kids is more advanced or whatever, but the crack babies, now this is hearsay. I ain't saying no facts behind this, but the crack babies were supposed to be the slower ones.
Right. Well, you know, powder cocaine, I'm pretty sure was pretty damaging if, you know, young babies in the womb as well. Crack is a different animal. It's a hybrid, right? Like it's not what powder is, and powder is not what crack is. And I've known some brothers who have extensive powder habits, and until they get really, really far gone, it doesn't present the way crack does immediately. Crack immediately shows. You like, damn, that's some crackhead shit, right? That's Judge Mathis. That's a crackhead move, right? Like it's more intense. So I've never smoked either one. I'm with Kamar, but I have seen somebody smoke the pipe. I've seen them do it before. Like, dude, what the fuck is you doing? Oh, my fault, young dog. I didn't know you was standing there. Man, get out of here with that shit. Go ahead, Courtney.
No, I just said I'm happy to know that you haven't tried either one. Happy, thanks for
yeah, I mean, yeah. Was that the expectation? Like, Kev must have been a smoker. Listen, I can tell you one thing about my generation that was really unique for a while until it wasn't. Our thing was not to use drugs. Our thing was to sell them. Yeah. Like most of us had a relative, an auntie, a parent, a grandparent, whoever, who we saw what it did to them. So we was like, no, you don't get high off your own supply. And so our thing was making money. That's what it was for us. Like, man, if I'm going to be in the hood, I might as well catch me $200-300 extra if I'm just hanging out. But now it did creep into some brothers' blunts, joints until they both some brothers did get curious and say, yeah, you know what, I'm going to try this. But I can even remember a time when our narrative was, if you ever cutting, you keep gloves on. Don't cut barehanded because you don't want it in your system. So that's how paranoid most of us were about even actually trying. I never was drawn to try anything except for alcohol and marijuana. And that was cool for me. And at times too much. You feel me? Like I'd never been a pill dude. I tried mushrooms once. And I was just like, nah, this is a little too psychedelic for me. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't a dude who was like going to experiment. We used to call them all-stars in Milwaukee. He said he an all-star. What does that mean? He get high for everything.
He don't give a fuck.
He too powder pill.
He an all-star. He don't give a fuck.
Yeah. This motherfucker just said, we ain't got no weed? Nope. Well, fuck it. Like, damn, cuz, hold on. What you doing? Oh, I didn't even know you do that. Like, it was still kind of, you look at it as kind of like a black eye. Like, dude smoke momos, right? That was a black eye in the hood. Like, oh, smoking. Because you could no longer trust him after that. And it will eventually show, like, dude, you out here bad.
No, smoking.
That's what we used to say, they were smoking, right? Tiarsha said my father brought the whole set of encyclopedias. That's what he had me researching. Yeah, just sitting around.
He seen that commercial. Remember me? I had a report to do on space. You remember that Encyclopedia Britannica commercial with that one dude? He was in every commercial.
And like I said, my mother would buy them from rummage sales, so they were older. So I'm really reading up a Cold War encyclopedia, some shit. Like, damn, Russia. Well, the fuck. Jesse said, real, most people now don't know the difference between sources, primary and secondary, for instance.
Yeah, they don't. It's a lost art. I had public speaking classes where I had to do persuasive essays and informative essays. You had to do the research for all that shit.
Well, listen, it's not a flex for me because I'm still ABD, but I finished my coursework for my PhD. And the first thing you have to learn is the difference in research. One is qualitative, one is quantitative. And if you don't understand the difference between those two, how are you going to research? Right? I don't know if y'all know the difference between qualitative and quantitative, but there's a difference. So as a researcher, you have to be aware of that. And so, it's all kinds of, it's a process to it. It's not just, oh, I know this because I read it on Google. No, you got to do, like Rail said, you have to have multiple sources because what you're going to find
sources.
Even when they talk about coding research, you have to code research and put this kind of research together and that kind of, you have to do this when you're writing a dissertation. So why you didn't finish, Kev? Well, that's a long story, but hey.
I hate citing my sources and shit, but you had to do it just in case somebody wanted to read it for themselves.
Well, I did everything except the dissertation. I finished all 3 years of the coursework, flying colors and everything. So I should have did the dissertation, but I did. It's a different show on why I chose not to do it. Mama Jenkins said, Kev, I said the same thing. Lil Buddy is endorsing this woman, but we don't know who the other black leaders are endorsing. Mama Jenkins, I just thought it was just a statement of who he is and where we're at. If he, as a black man, is asking or hoping that other black people will vote for him, but he himself is not endorsing another black person. To me, that's an unwritten rule. That's why I said it might be me. Maybe this is not a big deal. Maybe people like Kev, you just making something out of nothing. He don't got to endorse no other brother.
Like did he ever say, and that's what I was going to ask, like, did he ever say, black people get me in the office and I'm going to do the bidding for black folks? Like, because there's a difference between having a black mayor and having a mayor that just so happened to be black. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we got expectations on him that he never signed up for.
Right, like Obama, just like Obama,
you know, or just like any job. If you the manager,
there will be no black agenda.
You got subordinates. Come on, man. You supposed to be a brother. You supposed to look the other way when I'm 5 minutes late. You know, sometimes that whole black card, they pull you into some bullshit.
Well, okay, so with Obama, first of all, he was mixed, African and white. Brother Johnson is from the north side of Milwaukee. He don't look African to me. He don't look half white to me. So if you born and raised on the north side in the chaos and confusion and dysfunction that we bore witness to, my expectation is for you to stand with people who look like you. This is why I said maybe I'm making a big deal out of it. Maybe it ain't a big deal. Shit, Kev ain't always right.
He could look at it like, yeah, I was born there and I did what it took to get out. Why
so
can't
fuck
you?
him. Right.
Why can't you? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, even if you get out, so even if you get out, that means you're no longer obligated to support us. If you get out, you say, well, I don't live in the hood no more, so fuck black people.
I mean, shit, there's black people in the hood that say fuck black people. Still
This
in the
is
hood.
true. This
and
is
their
true.
behavior shows it. Like,
and you know what? If one of them hood dudes was running for office and they endorsed a white person, I would question them too. Like, how you gonna put dude in charge of the crack house instead of another brother? Like, I don't know. I don't watch Power, so I don't know. What's the white boy name that everybody love on Power?
I don't watch it.
I don't either.
I don't watch Power, BMF.
Right.
Like, I'm not.
I don't watch
I
none of
watched
that
the
shit
first
either.
season of Power.
I missed it all. One of them just got canceled, and I don't. I watched BMF. I think when it was free trial, because I don't have cable, I stream, so I got all these apps, and so I watched it. But then I was just like, I think I may have had enough of watching movies that kind of glorify, and I don't like that word either, but I'm gonna use it. We're making anti-heroes out of some of the dudes who did the most damage to our community. And we got to be, we're selling that to our youngsters. As a young man, you looking and you saying, shit, I'll be like Ghost. Because if I sell drugs and buy me a couple legal businesses and really get entrenched into the shit, and this shit's all unrealistic. You're going down, and you're going to go down hard. When I watched Snowfall, I only watched it because I thought it was a parallel between Freeway Ricky Ross and the Franklin Saint because of the CIA's involvement in it. So I said, this will be an interesting show because it's actually explaining that the government was opening the floodgates for cocaine to come into the poorest communities in the 80s, right? We just so happen to put an innovation on it and cook it in the crack. And they said, man, them niggers get it. Like people make everything liver, don't they? We ain't gonna just toot powder. We gonna make crack. Right? Like, you really finna be high. Fletch, I see in the chat room, he said that was a Black Lightning move. Watch the series that was Green Light experimenting with the babies. Okay. Yeah, who knows what comic book you think is just a comic book, but it's really based on some shit they really did, right? And they laughing like these niggas just have no idea. Let me see. He said, this is Shay said, all if not a majority of politicians are tools of racist white supremacy, especially the black ones. And racist white supremacists always breaks its tools. Jason Vadilli, my cousin, my family, he said, if we colored, so what are the Caucasians? Because last time I checked, they was a color too. You know what? If that's, are we still talking about what we should be called in terms of how we look? Are we still talking
some people
about?
call them clear, the clear.
Right.
People,
I hear people say gray.
Yeah.
Right. Are Indians, Native Americans?
Do it make we know who the hell we talking about?
Right.
Are they red? Are they really red? Are Native American? Are Asian people really yellow?
Why black folks be wanting to get technical about the wrong motherfucking shit?
I think cuz is I don't know. I can't say what cuz.
I ain't saying him in particular. I'm just speaking in general.
I'd like to know.
No, I'm speaking in general. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
I'm asking cuz, what do you think? Because you said he asked the question, so I like to know what he thinks. I say black. I'm a claim black. I don't get caught up in the semantics. I say people say, what race are you? I say I'm black. I say I'm black because my mother was a field Negro who defined us as black, and she had been through the whole movement. So she said we black. I said I'm black. She could have said you a nigga. I would have said, well, I'm a nigga, mama. That's what I mean, it was my mama. What was I gonna say? Mom, you don't know what you're talking about. Black is not actually, we're not a color, we're a race. I thought black represented something. I thought it represented the lost understanding of who we are. What do they call us? Children of the diaspora, right? That is the lost people from Africa, from the continent. Ain't that what the diaspora is? I said diaspora. Diaspora, ain't that what it is? Somebody who's research tell me. My brother Everett Gransbury said Haiti and Dominica both sit in what is referred to as Hurricane Alley. They have damage almost every year. That's what I was saying. Like we could say the white man did it, but it might have something to do with back-to-back bubbles every spring. Like, damn, we just had a hurricane. We didn't even rebuild this shit yet. Jeff says crack and freebase are different. He said ether is involved.
I think we got that understood.
I'm just going through the chat room.
Two different things.
No, I'm just going through the chat room. I'm catching the chat room up. Everett says, Everett Gransbury says, yes, they are different, but the effect is the same. Okay. Tiarsha said they use rubbing alcohol for the torch and baking soda, and they put vitamin B to make it more, from what I heard. I've heard, about some B12 and stuff like that. I've heard,
people used to get them B12 shots faithfully as a form of like energy boost and health and shit. Like people used to
know some dudes who used to use baby formula.
Yeah, I remember motherfuckers when they selling powder, they used to go get them B12 package at the store.
Right. And try to swell it. Oh, this gonna swell it up when it come back. After you cook.
Well, no. They would sell that to people who do powder because they wouldn't hardly know the difference.
Oh.
Because that shit was more like aspirin.
I know people who used to put it in there to say it would swell it.
No, it's different ways you cook it. Just make it swell up.
And brothers was always trying to get more. How far
different ways. Like it was one way they would call a water whip, where you would whip it with the water and make it swell up, and your shit would be wet as a motherfucker, right? You go buy some dope from a motherfucker, it'd be wet as a motherfucker, and it way up. By the time you get home and let it sit out for a minute, your shit dry up.
2 grams.
That shit ain't as heavy no more, so you got less work. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker get you that way, and then they got the baking soda whip. Well, right as soon as it's done, you pour all the water off of it, and you hit it with a bunch of baking soda and stir it real fast, and it'll lock up.
Using all the drug terms, locking up and coming back.
Well, hey man, hey, them was the only terms. What you mean, man?
what Lil Wayne said? I know the feds is listening. What money, right? Statute of limitations is up on all of this shit. Jeff Crape said crack was a pocket version of freebase. The pH of baking soda neutralized the acid of cocaine and concentrated the cocaine. Okay, we got a bunch of experts on here, a bunch of chemists. Jason said real spit. Jeff Crape, he says cooking crack removed a hydrochloride. Okay, he's expanding it further if we really want to know. Facts, Kev. Facts. Vitamin B. Okay, vitamin B would come back when you cooked it. Gave you more, but that's what I'm saying. I just thought I knew cats who would say we hit it with some B. I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't there when they did it.
I guess if you hit it at just like I said, like the water, I mean the baking soda whip. You know what I mean? If you hit it like that, I guess.
I know I heard it. I don't know how true it is.
See that, but that ain't no shit we did.
That's what I was about to say. It's not something I ever did. It's not something I ever seen. The dudes who I saw whipped straight with baking soda.
Yeah,
it was just boom.
Nothing but water, baking soda. And
that was it. T. Arsha said, same here, Kev. I only smoked weed and drank MD 2020. Damn. Thunderbird and private stock. Shit. Private stock. 64 ounce. She said we sat on Jackie Robinson steps passing around one joint among 10 people. Man, I thought me and GT was the only ones who sat on Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson used to crack in the summer. Oh, that shit used to.
Yeah. Basketball.
Yeah.
40s. I don't give a fuck what age you is. It was going down over there.
You know, when I first moved here, that was the first school I went to. Milwaukee was wonderful around that time when Jackie Robinson was still open.
And what year was this?
I moved here in 99. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I can tell you I started off teaching school as a substitute teacher before I got my certificate. And there's two schools that I said I hate going to. Well, three actually that I said I don't like going to, but it was only a couple that I said I will never go to. Jackie Robinson was one, and I wanted to say John Muir, but I think my experience at Edison was probably worse. Them
Jackie
kids
Robinson, you would never go to?
I hated it. The kids were so bad. It was just like my little cousin was in it. I was subbing. My little cousin was in one of the classes, and like they was horrible. I had gold in my mouth, so they thought it was the funniest thing in the world. Like, how the fuck do the teacher got gold in his mouth? It was just crazy as shit. Like, and I'm sitting here thinking like they ribbing on me, but I'm making like $29 an hour to be here. Like I said I'll never go. And then at John Muir, the dude went and got his brother. They was gonna beat me up. You know what I'm saying? I just thought it was funny. Like, okay, somebody finna get their ass whooped around here. Don't let this teaching shit fool you. Mama Jenkins said once again that baking soda is dangerous and used for a lot of shit. It is because you start playing chemist. You start playing with chemistry tools. He said I tried crack. Jesse said he tried crack once. Mushrooms once, X a couple times. However, my main drug of choice was and were marijuana and tobacco cigarettes. He tried it. And he tried X. And no. No. That, I don't, you couldn't have got me to try crack. I saw what it did to some of my family members as a child. And I was just like, I'm not going to do that shit.
It's good. It's good. It ain't get them all bound up off that one try. I remember back in the day, I watched this documentary called "Crackheads Gone Wild," and they would interview just different people and ask them how they got on crack. And a lot of dudes was like, "Hey, shit, I was busting my shit down and then rolled the blunt. That motherfucker got the sparkling, and while I was hitting it." And that was the highest I ever been, and ever since then I've been chasing that high shit. One dude said he rolled up on the plate he used, and that's what happened to him. But yeah, it was Crackheads Gone Wild. So
what a dumbass.
It was. I don't know. Like
that sounds like That don't sound accurate to me.
Dumbass. That's just like, man.
Maybe
come
that
on,
was him just trying to
shit.
excuse how he got
But
on the type
motherfuckers
shit.
Motherfuckers probably did get on it like that, but usually they was fucking with somebody who was on that shit and they decided to try.
There we go.
You know what I mean? Motherfucker could blame it how they want to. You know what I mean? Because like it was something they used to say, like they all got a friend. You know what I mean? Every one of them got a friend. You know what I mean? Who they can bring to you. You know what I'm saying?
Man, there's a multitude of ways, and I try not to be judgmental on anybody who is unfortunate enough to fall victim to that. Like, because we all were at risk. Because, and I'm gonna tell you why. It wasn't until some older brothers put me up on, hey man, you can't smoke with everybody. Like, you don't just go everywhere and smoke with everybody, and what to look for when something was laced and that kind of thing, and what it should smell like and how it should burn. But there was probably an opportunity where somebody could have just Mickey'd me before, you know, and thank God it didn't happen. But that's why you don't need, as a young person, you need to steer clear of that. That's what I tell my son. Don't even take the chance. If you become a grown up and you're an adult and you're adulting, then I can't tell you what to do, but understand it's consequences and repercussions for everything that you do. And you're going to have to be the one to pay. Jason Fideli said, do we even have a black agenda? No, we don't. Obviously, we don't. Because I would think if we did, it would first stipulate that we supported each other. We're not doing that. We don't. And I guess that's my issue. After all this time, we still have no agenda. Meanwhile, they can get a $300 million relief package signed, sealed, and delivered to Ukraine. But we can't get reparations. That's just this is off the table. No, fuck no. We're not going to give them that. Let's give the Ukraine's $300 million instead. On what planet does this make sense? I get what Dion said about the Cold War, and yeah, America wants to stick it to Russia, and the Cold War ended in 1989, right? We still have a rocky relationship with Russia. I get it. Americans don't like Putin unless you Donald Trump, but I'm just saying. Jesse says qualitative versus quantitative research. Yeah, I mean, that's how I learned it. He said, right, you don't want to commit plagiarism either, Kevin Rail. Well, yeah, they got programs now. When you write anything, they put it through a program. It'll get your sources up. Believe me, you will get caught if you plagiarize now. And it could be something minute, like you got something in your paper and you don't quote the source correctly. Not that you didn't quote it or you didn't cite it, but you didn't cite it correctly. There's schools that can get you for plagiarism. Jason Fideli said, but at the same time, he looked like us, don't mean. Well, that's what I put under the post in the People's News Network. Skinfolk ain't kinfolk. It's obvious. Like, I'm sorry. You are officially a white folks Negro. This movie coming out called Magical Negroes. I can't wait till it come out. the wonderful world of Magical Negroes. We talked about Magical Negroes some years back. It was the funniest conversation that we ever had. He said Rail's right. He never stated that. He didn't. Why aren't we calling him out on that though?
Okay.
We're so willing to give our vote to him, but nobody's saying, bruh, what about us? It's like black people want that to be. You can't say that in front of them white folks. Why not? They can sign $300 million to go to Ukraine. That's white support. They're supporting their white European brothers. But don't you say nothing about black folks. That's conditioning. Ernest said, that is his name, Tommy, the white boy.
Okay, yeah.
Looks like Gary Owen. He said Osambo was non-FBA. You know what? I continuously go and look for things Obama did, and I went and I was looking at all the stuff he did, and he did some economic things, and he did some things for business. But by and large, I was correct in that. What the biggest thing that he did was the healthcare, which was good, universal healthcare. But like I said, there was nothing pronounced for us. Most of what he gets a lot of credit for is still what he did for the LGBTQ community. So when I say what about us? It's accurate. It's accurate. Says Chevy from y'all turf, and is what we thought he was, but we're finding out that he's not. He said that's the definition of a sellout. Is he a sellout? I don't know. People tell me that went to school with him that know, they say he's a nice guy. Sean said he didn't mind taking a picture with him because he's cool with him. He's known him for a
Well, a
very long
sellout
time.
can be a nice guy.
I'm talking about Chevy.
That's what I'm saying. A sellout can be a nice guy.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit. Good point.
I mean, like what you talk about, what is a sellout? And then that can be subjective.
It can be, because you can argue about anything.
You know what I'm saying? Like a sellout, like, okay, did he sell us out in any kind of way?
I think if he spent people, like if he made you believe voting for him and having a black person in office would benefit you, and then didn't hold to his shit, then yeah, I would have an issue. But I honestly can't recall a time that any like even Obama. I mean, they or Kamala, whatever. Like they use the fact that okay, black people gonna vote for them because black people love seeing somebody that look like them in a high place because it gives them hope.
It makes us feel included. Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, it ain't like they say, hey, get me in the office and I'm going to do some shit for you.
It's the expectation. Yeah.
Right. That's the expectation. But it ain't necessarily just like.
I think selling us out will be more in the line of passing a law that's okaying the police to fuck us up.
Well, when you start talking about the tax increase and there's specific stipulations that prevented any conversation about DEI, ain't that kind of similar? Ain't that kind of close to saying I'm opening y'all up to be discriminated against?
Yeah. And this is the point I'm getting at. You're getting to it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I'm just saying that, like, I wasn't finna keep going at it, but that's what I was alluding to.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you're doing anything that can harm your people, that leave your people in harm's way, knowingly, yeah, that's pretty much selling them out.
Yeah. You sold us out to the state, basically, because you.
So now we can say he sold us out.
Which is what you just say, which is
we just figured
subjective,
it out, right?
which is subjective, right?
Yeah, but from our way, you know what I mean, we can say, yeah. So,
I think the whole point of this is we're not haphazardly criticizing him based on whether or not we personally like him or not.
We really just went over, like, what is a seller? What are you doing when you're selling somebody out? Like,
it's about your policies. It's about your policies.
Yeah.
It ain't about your personality. It's about your policy, right? I mean, like I said, he might be a cool cat to sit around at the cookout with and say, man, what's going on, man? Hey, it's good, man. Just living the dream, buddy. Hey, man, we're sitting here, we're chilling. We got some lager beer. We got some ribs. You got ribs, right? You know, I like my ribs. He might be that dude. I don't know. I'm just missing the fact that he's from the ghetto. Dion said it's crazy how they allowed cocaine in the community and over-criminalized it, and they tried to fix the problem they caused. Yeah, but they sure feel sorry for the victims of the opioid epidemic. What a crazy parallel. It was criminalized when we was doing it, and now there's consolation when they do it. Right? I tried to use 2 C words.
There's a benefit in exploitation. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like with weed. They got it documented now that where they said they couldn't make it illegal to be black or against the war, but they could criminalize the things that black people and hippies that are against the war do. So, I mean, it's always weaponized to exploit and oppress the minority or us. You know what I'm saying? So, I guess I wouldn't expect equal treatment in a place where I'm understandably the redheaded stepchild.
Ooh, okay. So then we get to the thing is, well, should I just not say nothing? Which I guess most black people are kind of adapting to what you're saying. I don't expect them to do right, so fuck it.
Well,
then how can change ever come then?
It ain't fuck it. It's just stop asking your motherfucking oppressor to treat you right. So it ain't saying fuck it. It's saying figure that shit out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it was a bully on the block, I can say, hey man, it'll be so nice if you don't hit me in the face today. It's like, where is my leverage? Like, that's what we don't talk about. Where the fuck is our leverage? Like, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you can negotiate. And in order to negotiate, you need leverage. Where is our leverage? Do we get bread? Do we get solidarity where we say, hey, work with us, or we gonna make it to where we ain't shopping with, like, we don't have any leverage. So to assume that people will do the right thing just because it's the right thing, ain't nobody did that shit in history. They did the right thing when they ain't had no choice but to do the right thing or face some consequences that they didn't want to deal with.
So, but he's supposedly not the oppressor, though. He's another foundational Black American. So hold on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So am I wrong in expecting him to do for us if he is? I feel like the expectation is natural. I feel like it's just like if I was to get some kind of high prestige position right now, you all should have an expectation that I'm gonna look out for y'all. You feel what I'm saying?
In like a system that's built to, I guess if you're talking about an insurgence from the inside, because that's what that would be, an insurgence, because this country was based and built on racial white supremacy. So even to be involved in politics, you're a part of the oppressive system. So how can you really expect somebody who, they may not be the oppressor, but they're a pawn of the oppressor, and they don't even have enough power to do anything different than their directive,
which would ultimately make them a tool and a sellout.
I mean, I guess
like we
throwing around. I was just gonna add that, you know what I mean, a Black man can be another Black man's oppressor.
Absolutely, gatekeeper.
Like, you can't just say oppressor, like oppressor is a white person. That's why I say, like, I don't see it as though I have one at all. And I'm not just looking at white people. I'm saying anybody.
Right.
I feel like it's just something I got to figure out to get past.
On your own or another way, because you can't go to the people and say, I mean, just like even in history, you had slaves over the other slaves. The oppressive system always likes to put a buffer between them and the oppressed. So usually it was a mulatto, somebody who was master's child.
House nigga.
You know, that there was always a buffer group. There were the mixed breed mulattoes, or they were the sellout Sambos who, so there was always that buffer. So when I see Black people in position, I basically look at them as the buffer. They're the wall between me and the system that's hurting me.
So our mayor is a house nigga.
Basically,
I don't follow the shit enough to say, because
allegedly.
Looking mighty suspect. I'm just saying. Once again, I don't know him personally. I'm not trying to insult him personally, but from my perspective, what I see is house nigga activity, because you're serving the interests of the house over the niggas in the field, which would be us. And you're not even coming to us saying, like you said, there was no Black agenda. It ain't. So people say, Kevin, it ain't his fault that Black people expected some shit, because he never made them any promises. So that gets him off the hook. I say bullshit. The Black man, come on, man, keep it a buck. You're supposed to do something for your people. It don't matter how fucking entrenched and indoctrinated.
You might see he doing something for his people by doing something for his family. Yeah, I've separated my family from those oppressed motherfuckers over there.
Yeah, well,
now
I can tell you what.
Good side of the line, and I'm to it for my
Every
family.
time you turn your back on this dysfunction, it's gonna get closer and closer to you. My friend's kid, my cousin's kid, my brother's kid, until it's your kid. So you can say, well, I got my family out. Your kid will be the biggest crackhead on the market. Your kid will be the one. He got a brother who committed murder. Keep ignoring it. It's gonna get closer and closer to you. That is the harm that is done by Black people not standing up for other Black people, because they ain't necessarily going through the situation. That's what I'm saying. Or it ain't me. I live out here. Or you're not protected and you're not insulated. Because at any given time, I don't give a damn how much money you got in this country. I don't care what your status is. You will have a nigga moment. They will remind your ass, nigga, do you know who you is? You better stay in your place. Jason said they consider themselves white, a color. So while we call ourselves the colored people, they called us color. We might say people of color. They called us colored. That was one of the things they used to call us when they was running out of shit to call us.
Hey, cuz, what should we call ourselves? That's what I want to ask you that. What should we call ourselves, and how do we get the word out to start calling ourselves that? And why are we calling ourselves that? Because see, I just identify as black because this is what all of my people identify as. When I say I'm a black man, everybody know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like,
everybody except Chevy.
If I was Ghanaian, you know what I mean? It's a lot of people that wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying?
Chevy be like, but black. Why you say black? I'm fucking. I don't know, man. I don't know.
But you get what I'm saying?
I got you.
What should we call ourselves? Is what I like to ask people when they say that.
That's one of them things that when I'm scrolling, I don't even stop for. Why do we call ourselves black? I just keep going.
Right.
I'm cool with it. Like it's one of the things
where and why?
It's one of the things where you study long, you study wrong, right? You can just really confuse the fuck out of yourself. That's why I always say that Black Americans are the only race that's pretty much created by America. It's a forced creation because they erased your history and mixed in all kinds of different shit. There's no other black people on this planet who have as much shit mixed in within them as us. Right? Go do the research about the biology of it. Ewok said they're gonna get y'all asses for the conspiracy of how to cook crack law. Better shut up. I'm pretty sure they're listening anyway, so they would already know if you came to my house for some crack, you just practicing. I would tell them, like, I hope this is a drill. Y'all timing this right. Because y'all know goddamn well it ain't no crack in here. Like, come on, they know where that shit is at. So whatever.
Yeah, but I hear you, Ewok. What they only fuck with you when you start making too much money.
When they figure out your ass ain't paying taxes. This motherfucker got what and didn't pay taxes on that shit. Let's go get his ass. John Muir was the joint. That's my alumni spot. LOL. Hey, yeah, I didn't like John Muir. Did not like. When I would go there to sub, but the kids just always had. And I get it. He's a substitute teacher, but I was still like young. I'm like 25. Like, come on, man. I still beat the shit out of you. So it was just. I just didn't like it. I didn't have a problem at Webster, didn't have a problem at Burroughs. I didn't have a problem at Morris. It's just that
you wouldn't have a problem at Morris.
Well, I told you what my problem was. Just thinking I'm like when I come in and the principal's like, "How you doing?" Like, "Oh shit."
Hey, that's the homie, man.
Right, man. I got you. Shout out to Dr. man, Dr. O, man. Dr. O was a great principal on the real.
Exactly, a great human being, man. That's
he was, but it just got the first time. Like I keep saying, I walk in. I'm Mr. Barnes. I came here for the math class, and they say, "Oh, Dr. O, here's the sub," and this big 6'5" black dude, bald head, look like Lou Gossett Jr. turn around and be like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "Oh shit, is he joking? Do he really talk like
that?" That's him. He authentically, genuinely him, man.
He was zesty for real. Like, and that's what it was. Wasn't no myth.
If it's truth.
And I'm guaranteeing you that he would have probably been down to fight about the shit too if you really fucked with him. Like, hold on, goddammit. I've heard some things. I'm not gonna reference them. But yeah, that was my only issue. He ran the hell out that school, though. And a lot of kids went through there and got edumacated, right? One thing I remember about him is he did not play in a staff meeting. If they say, the teacher say, "We don't have this," or "This ain't running yet," he'll be like, What do you mean? Who's in charge of that?" And whoever it was finna get their ass handed to him. We don't get these teachers what they need. I used to be like, damn, I never seen no principal do that shit before. Motherfuckers leaving crying. Like, he didn't have to do that to me.
Joe Clark.
Hey, man, he was, Joanna Clark, I guess we can call it. That was so bad, but it was so good. Let me see. Catch the chat room. Shout out to the chat room. They keep it popping, man, the whole show. Jesse said, "Yep, and crack cocaine is an alkaloid, as well as speaking of chemistry." He said, "Nah, real, you 100. It's called chasing the dragon, trying to get that first high back." Erica said, "I watched a 16-year-old classmate get cracked out." Jeff said, "I seen a few fools fall for it." I know. I found out. I found out growing up. I was talking about us not, using and shit like that. But I did find out when I got older that several of my partners like powder. And I found it out this, the hard way. And this is when I'm grown and working, and I'm 24, 25, and I'm at after party of the after party, which I probably shouldn't have been at, right? And there's a plate going around, and cats is getting a Tony Montana on. I was amazed. I was asking, like, dude, you do this? You too? I did it. And a lot of them was saying off top, Kev, don't trip, Kev. Don't trip. Because they know what was coming from me. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But it's just whatever, right? Do what you want to do, like Devin said. Jeff said he's seen a few fools fall for it. I got some homies right now who still partake. I ain't gonna say their names. Dion said I got plenty head off crack. Leave it to Dion. He got plenty head off crackheads. Okay. Jesse said, yep, Rel, I didn't like the high I got from it, and I remember crackheads gone wild as well. He didn't like he didn't like the high.
That's dope. He was able to escape that shit.
Primos and bazookas, he said they used to call them. He said, yeah, you can't smoke with everyone either. Yeah, I mean, it's such a deep dive for using drugs. I mean, or whatever what they would classify as drugs. Said hold his ass accountable. Tiasha said, has anyone ever thought he's endorsing a clear person to get more things passed? I always heard to have a clear person on your team. I feel like that's conditioning as well. If you got a qualified black man, and you got to go back and watch the interview that I did with Michael S. Harper. This brother was super knowledgeable. He was super, I don't like to say a black man was articulate, but I mean, he was well-spoken. He represented well. He was a person who when you asked him the specifics of the position, he had an answer. Right. He didn't just give you a blanket statement like, well, we're going to call some people and then hope they call somebody and then we'll do a survey and then we'll fix that. Nah, he had specific, like he knew about what he's running for. Let me see. Everett Gransberry says, so I want to start an agenda. The first item is to prevent Orange Julius from getting elected. I'm not saying that the alternative is better, but at least he carries himself with some integrity and moral fortitude. It's a starting point that we can build off of. The next item will be to hold our elected officials accountable at all levels. I'm definitely with you on that, my brother. Everything you said right there, I'm definitely with it. Jason said, like Mike Tyson said, a friend to everyone is a danger to themselves. So by him being friends with others means he's a danger to us. Jasmine Tyler, she said, I just got done. She was in a meeting. Jazz, we're going to get your appearance rescheduled because I know you want to come on and rock with us for a minute. She said, I needed to hear that. I don't know which part you needed to hear. Said facts. I'm just catching us up, y'all, because I'll be behind running my damn mouth. Said our leverage is in solidarity, and the only way, this is Erica Hunt saying, the only way you can stop a bully is by numbers. I don't know if it's always numbers, because usually what it just takes is one person to stand up to him. Even if they get their ass whooped, other people start standing up to him, and eventually he finds his huckleberry, right? Eventually he say, damn, dude came and beat the shit out of cuz. You got the juice now. Jason said that's why we have to build our own institution so we can demand what we want. And he's agreeing with me. He said, real talk, cuz. Jasmine says half of the battle with the mayor's office is the common council. That's what we have to educate ourselves on. Who on the common council is fighting him on what it is that he may want to do? This is true. Who's that in tune with their district, Jasmine? That would be the question I would ask to go with that. Like, which alderman is really out there representing their district? Or once you put him on certain committees, is he willing to play ball? Because, the power lies in what committee you're actually on, right? Who you're going to meet. Said allegedly, Kamar. He said facts, but at the same time, I'm a black man, but I'm a man first that happens to be black in America. That's it. Once again, that gets complicated when we start talking about our identity. What are we? What color are we? Who are we? How do we define ourselves? I'm purple. Okay. And Wayne Brady said he's what did he say? What did he say? He's a trisexual. What is he defining himself at? I said you just gay. Non-binary. He said he basically can fall in love and with anybody, a man, a woman.
Pansexual?
Pansexual. Yeah,
he's what he is.
Yeah, that's what he said. I said, why'd you just gay? I mean, if you can make any, it don't matter if it's a man. I can fall in love with him. you're gay. Why do you have to even add anything else to it? You gay. Like why are you running from? Like,
maybe that would say he's limited himself to men, and he said, "No, I'm not that. I like women too. I'm an equal opportunity, something like that. I don't know."
Yeah, it doesn't matter what else you do. If you're willing to have sex with another man, you're gay. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying, oh, shame on you. I'm just saying, once you say I'm willing to have sex with a man, I don't need to know if you non-binary, if you I don't need to know all other shit. Because to me, the gay thing is when you sleep with other men. When you define homosexual, that means you sleep with the same gender. That's what homo means, right?
But he might be saying he sleep with both. So I mean, you can't just assign that one label to him if he doesn't. I mean, he's that.
Then why can't we just say gay then, and we sum it up and be like, fuck it.
You gay.
You know what I mean? And then the conversation's over.
Right.
Like what, you know what I mean? They the ones that gotta make this shit difficult. Like you can't call me gay. I'm a transparent intellectual contraceptual queer.
It's one of the situations where I would say, like in that conversation with him, and I would say you're gay, and he say no, I'm actually pansexual. I can fall in love with it. I would say it's all semantics. You're gay.
Right.
That's pretty much what it is. You're gay. Let me see.
Look, and I feel like this. It's a problem if they got a problem with that. Then that means it's a problem being gay.
So you're in denial.
You want to stand on this term, this other term.
You're in denial.
Gay is bad, right?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
You're more homophobic than me because you running from the title. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
Let's say stand on your business. Jeff Crape said my oldest son was in the last class at John Burroughs. I was cool at Burroughs. I taught about 2-3 years at Burroughs. It was cool. It was wild, but it was smooth. Jasmine said I didn't have a problem at Morris either, but Dr. Onik didn't take no stuff. I felt like I was in the movie Lean on Me. Yeah, Dr.
Onik he got things done.
I'm trying to tell you, man, he was no joke, man.
The clock don't play.
Man. And I didn't even see me, and when I was younger, I may have been more homophobic because when he would come in my classroom and it's just me, I would be a little nervous sometimes.
Word?
Yeah, because I didn't want, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want dude to say nothing inappropriate. I didn't want him.
And it's messed up, right? Like, you wasn't scared, so you wasn't homophobic. It's just weird being around him.
Right, and I didn't want to have to whoop his ass. Right.
Like, that was, that wasn't cool.
And I didn't want to have to whoop his ass, so I wasn't scared. I was just more like, I hope this dude don't try nothing. But here's the thing. I've matured now to the point to understand that I probably wasn't even, you know what I mean? Like, he probably wasn't even thinking like that at all because he never did. Anyway. But so my thing is, well, you said he was a professional. Well, so were half the teachers in the school, the ladies, and they was always in my mailbox. They was always in my classroom. They wasn't always professional. I knew, yeah, you are a professional, but what you say you want me to do to you? It was crazy. It was a crazy time in my life, man. I'm trying to tell you. I was like, dang, man.
So
I didn't know
heterosexual women were more deviant than the homosexual
homosexual man. Listen, that's why when I see people now talk about getting harassed in the workplace, I'm like, cuz for real? Like most men that you know who've been in professional situations,
I don't mind.
Even in factories, I ain't gonna just say professional, but come on, man. I've heard women say and seen women do some crazy things to brothers, and you be like, where you just come back from? And he just got this dumb look on his face, like, bro, for real? Like, like, man, I didn't even know. Like, it's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to unpack, as Austin would say. He said Jackie Robinson, not I thought you said JB. You did, but you meant JR. Okay, so Jackie Robinson. Yeah, I wasn't going there. Sometimes they would give me options and say, Mr. Barnes, we have vacancy. We have an opening here. I'd be like, I'm not going to Jackie Robinson and I'm not going to Edison. No way, no how. Wasn't going to do it. Tiarsha said, was the principal name Harry Odom? And I don't know. I don't remember what the principal's name was. Erica Hunt said, gay is a man who only likes men. Gay is a man who's willing to have sex with another man. It doesn't matter if he likes women too.
Right.
being gay means you're homosexual. So you frolic with the same gender.
Right.
Why is there a twist on this?
Why we gotta be so difficult about this?
Just black people saying, nah,
Why
he like
why it's gotta be so? It wasn't always this many different genders.
Okay.
You know, male, female, gay.
That's it. That's it, Kamar.
That's it.
That's it. That is it. You 100. You're either one of those.
Why we gotta be so difficult, man?
Right.
God damn. Like I said, that means they know being gay is wrong.
If you run it from it,
that.
right. I love that.
That's what I get out of it.
I know people who are like that, and they would say, you know, the being gay would limit them to, oh, okay, so I can't fuck with women because I fuck with men. You know what I'm saying? Like, so somebody who is pansexual, they might say, no, I'm not gay because that would limit me to only being able to fuck with the people of the same sex. I'm saying I like everybody. I
think it says who? Like, you do what you want to do.
Bro, I would laugh in that person's face.
Oh, yeah.
I would say, okay, man. It's one of the things where I go, all right, man, whatever you say.
It's like, I'm not a dog lover. I'm an animal lover. Don't call me a dog lover because that's just limiting me to loving dogs. You know, so shit like that.
Semantics. It's all semantics. Once again, I would tell that individual, okay, is that how you define it? And they say yes. And I say, okay. But when I walk away in my mind, I'm going to say, that nigga gay.
Right.
And you definitely had a right to think what you think.
Yeah, well,
you know?
Now I'm going to start. You ain't going to never hear me say, oh, my bad, you pansexual. No. You I saw you with a dude. You left the club with him. You told me you hit.
It is what
nigga,
it is.
You gay. I'm sorry. That's gay. What's the gayest shit you can do as a man? Have sex with another man.
Right.
So if you say, but Kev, if it would have been a woman, I would have. The fact that you didn't back up and say, oh shit, bro, I didn't know you. If you said, oh well, fuck it, you here now, you gay. I'm sorry. You're gay. And maybe you didn't know it. Maybe you didn't know it this whole time. Like brothers say, I'm in love. I'm not gay, but I like transgender women. You're gay. Because that's a man. And you sleeping with him. So you're gay. Mama Jenkins said, Mr. Odom was my history teacher, and I graduated in 1969 from West Division High School. Okay. Mr. Odom.
Yeah.
Everett said, brothers, I appreciate another night of insightful conversation. Until next time, in peace and honor. My brother, thank you for supporting the show.
Peace.
Always a guest who contributes to the conversation. I appreciate that. Most definitely. Shout out to you. Jesse's laughing. Pansexual. Right? Pansexual. Jason said, I'm glad that was strong enough to not be influenced. He said he was strong enough to not be influenced to use drugs on no level. It was my choice to smoke weed. And to this day, I'm not going to even lie to you. I still love marijuana. I've had times when I wasn't feeling good and I smoked some weed and I was like, I feel great. It's not a pick me up, but it's a pain relief. All the surgeries I had as an athlete, I never took any pain pills. I've had reconstructive knee surgery. I done tore my Achilles. I done broke my hand. All kinds of 20 stitches in my chin. I never took a pain pill. You know what I did? I smoked. And I was straight. Like, so for me, it's like, all right, well, you know, to each his own, I say. Shay said, first time I heard that nonsense was in college. Said his girl is in one of my courses. This girl in one of his courses kept saying she was pansexual. And I was like, what the fuck that mean? And she was like, I'm attracted to the person, not the gender. Yeah. Okay. Semantic.
I think it mean you confused.
Or you just an all-star. Like we said, you do every drug. Right? You take it from the front and the back. You pitch and you catch. I mean, some dudes are better athletes than others. I'm not on your level in that regard. You say, well, Kevin, you just don't know. You are correct. I just don't know. Mama Jenkins is agreeing with Kamar. She said 100. Those three. Man, female, gay.
Right. Just keep it easy. That way we know who you are.
Right.
It's simple. I won't disrespect you
It's
by
simple.
calling you the wrong thing. I mean, you know what I mean?
She said, Erica says she's confused about this gay topic too. I don't know. Where's the confusion? Listen, this ain't, if you gay, if you think this is a homophobic conversation, I disagree. But I'm like, Kamar, I don't need to complicate every goddamn thing.
You gotta remember, you're talking to people who grew up. Like, I'm finna be 50.
Right.
You know what I mean? 50 years has always been male, female, gay.
Just changed in the last 5 years.
So it wasn't even lesbian because the women were just
well,
gay.
That was gay.
That was gay. That's gay.
It was lesbians, but they was gay.
Right.
And
a woman who sleeps with other women is homosexual because she sleeps with her own gender.
I feel you.
Men who fuck with other men, they accepted gay.
Right. A dude say, well, I'm not gay, I'm bisexual. That mean you gay.
That's when that's when the term started changing and shit with the bisexual shit. Well, you gay, you still fuck with men.
It's all good, but that's you.
It's your business.
So, it's like if somebody said, well, Kevin, are you straight? And I say, yeah. And they say, well, you like white women or black women? If I just said, I like women, I'm straight. It ain't no black sexual or white sexual. We putting too much detail on it. It's one or the other. It's one of them three, like Kamar said. It's one of the three. We will call that the trinity of masculinity.
Keep it simple, man. Keep
right.
It simple.
Tiasha said my uncle Eugene Hamilton was the first black basketball player at North Division to get a scholarship to Minnesota State, and Harry Odom and Marvin Pratt. Some years ago, they was inducted into the Hall of Fame at North Division. I remember he was also a principal at Juneau in the 80s. I went there for summer school. Eugene Hamilton. Okay. Minnesota State. The University of Minnesota or Minnesota State? I don't know. There's a difference. I don't want to get in trouble. Erica Hunt said, low-key, I heard pansexual meant that you date a male, female, and a transsexual. It's anything goes. Anything goes.
Is they like he said, the ones I know, they say, I fuck with the person, and whatever they happen to be is what they happen to be. I love the person.
So whether it's Bernadette or Bill, it's all good.
As long as they connect on that level, they cool with it.
Yeah, y'all better stop wearing these skinny jeans.
You still gay.
Right. Basically, and look, I know it comes off as an old, like we are old, like Kamar, we're them old dudes now, right? Them get off my grass dudes, right? We changed into them dudes, but I don't mind it.
It's kind of fun too, right?
Right. Well, it is because people get so upset about it. It's like, what you so mad for? Like, but you do, right? Right? Like, you do sleep with men, correct? Yes, but
50 fucking years.
University of Minnesota. I knew that's what it was, Tiarsha. I didn't know Pratt got a scholarship. I thought he went to UWM. Listen, I wanted to do this, and this is because we run out of time, and as we always do. Jeff Crape called us the Black Archie Bunkers. I thought at one point I was playing the theme song for that show. I think that was right before you came. I used to play the theme song for All in the Family, and I used to call myself the Black Archie Bunker. I used to say that a lot.
Were the day.
Guys were guys and men were
men.
Mister, we could use a man like Herbert Hoover again, who absolutely hated black people. Didn't need no welfare stakes, right? Let me see. I was talking about MPS, right? We're saying say no to the referendum, $252 million referendum. They were saying in order to justify this funding that they needed this money so they can get teachers and they would have a shortage, right? And that they wouldn't be able to deal with all of the kids who need instruction because we're going to be short. I said your truancy rate is over 40%. What do you mean you need extra teachers? So I found this article about the MPS facilities, and it speaks, and this is in the People's News Network. It gives you a nice, clear statistic of what I said to be true. Why are you saying you need $252 million in addition to your $1.5 billion budget for extra teachers? And what you have is a truancy problem and an enrollment problem. So they went over every school building, well, not everyone, but the most underused school buildings, and talked about their capacity and how many kids are actually enrolled. Y'all following what I'm saying? How many people are there every day? Okay. Andrew Douglas, the capacity is 1,139. It's only 200 kids there. Hopkins and Lloyd, the capacity of the building is 614. It's only 177 kids there every day. Highmount, 506 capacity, 172 kids there every day. Keith Avenue, 533 is the capacity, 189 enrolled. Now, I'm saying there, but enrolled, and most of the time you ain't going to get 100% attendance. So if you got 189 enrolled, you're only going to have about 100 kids in school on a daily basis by average. Roosevelt, 931 is the capacity of the building. There's 352 students enrolled. Lincoln Center for the Arts, the capacity is 901. It's only 352 enrolled. Our Avenue, 479 student capacity, 188 enrolled. Washington High School, 1,294 students it can hold. That's the capacity. 511 students enrolled. And I know only half of them come in every day. Seaford Elementary, 641 students capacity, 259 enrolled. Starnes, 587, 244 enrolled. King IB Middle School, 779 is their capacity, 330 students on the roster. Brown Street, 624 is the capacity, 269 enrolled. Sherman, Multicultural Arts, 705 is the capacity, 313 kids actually enrolled. Madison High School, 1,629 is the capacity for Madison High School, which at once was the biggest high school in the city, most populated. There's 762 on the roll. Clark Street, 560 is the capacity. Enrollment is 266. La Follette, 452 capacity, 217. King Elementary, 678 is the capacity, 328 enrolled. Morris Middle School, 1,012 students is the capacity, 491 enrolled. And the list goes on and on. My point is that, once again, why are you asking us for $252 more million because you need extra teachers when the vast majority of your buildings are not even at half full capacity? What you going to do with that money? Where's that money going? Right? And if we're talking about those enrollment numbers, which were low, let's add to that you have a truancy problem. So if you added up all those students that were enrolled, automatically take half of them away because they don't come to school every day. That is a minute number. But you need extra teachers. For what? These are the questions we need to be asking. There's a movement against this referendum now. Several different groups coming out saying this is bullshit. It's time to hold MPS accountable instead of throwing money at it. But once again, for me, it's so much to say about what's going on in our city. I know the mayor does not govern MPS, but that means you shouldn't come up with a plan. That means you shouldn't be. People say you don't know who he's working with behind closed doors, Kevin. Well, open up the goddamn door so I can know. What's wrong with transparency? I'm just saying. Let me catch my chat room before we close the door on this. I want to get y'all thoughts on that. What you think about that when you hear something like a building that's supposed to hold 1,600 kids and it got 600? What do you? And you want money for extra teachers? How y'all feel about that?
I think something should be done about getting kids to the schools that's more effective. You know what I mean? And then we need to figure out what we can do to make these other schools right. Like, you know, the MPS, right? MPS is shitty. But we need to figure out which MPS schools is really working, like is really turning results. And you know what I mean? And maybe follow that example. We got to do something.
But you need $252 million for more teachers. That's what they're telling us.
You don't need all that.
And we about to put police because of the tax increase. One of the conditions was that we had to put resource officers back in the schools. So we're about to have police in half full buildings. MPS is going to pay for it. Last time they were paying $100,000 a year. We'll see what they're going to pay this time. Real, what you think about that? 40% truancy rate on low enrollments in the first place.
You know me, man. You know me. I don't really fuck with school like that anyway. So when I was growing up, I was that dude that missed over 50% of attendance because, like I said, I hate school. I do. Like even now with my kids go to school because they want to go to school. Like because they want to go see their friends and shit at school. But for me, if they was like, "Hey, Dad, I need a mind clearing day," I'd be like, "Cool, shit." You know, like I don't look at like I teach my kids at home. You know, they read to me. I teach them the valuable shit at home. So with school, to me, like I said before, the whole board of education was put together by fucking Rockefeller, who said he didn't want a nation of thinkers, he wanted a nation of workers. So to me, school is just a form of institutionalization and indoctrination and someplace to keep the kids so that the parents can go to work and pay taxes. You know, so my thing is I feel like if they really want to fix this school shit, fix employment, fix it to where parents can be home in the morning to make sure their kid go to school. Because you have some kids to where you see them off to school and little do you know they might be just walking to a friend's house come 6 period or some shit. So if parents wasn't so overworked and underpaid, they might potentially have the time and the energy to manage their children's education better. But as for me, I'd be like, shit, the history they teach you is a fucking lie. Now they can't even teach you about yourself. They just about to teach. I mean, beyond reading and math, I don't see no other shit beneficial to school.
So you don't mind $600 increase in your property taxes?
Now with that, I mean, of course a motherfucker minded, but I would rather with that $600 increase, it be something to rectify the actual problem. To me, truancy is a problem if kids is fucking up shit. But my thing would be, okay, how are their grades? But I know you say that most of them ain't reading right. But even with that shit, going to school, motherfuckers ain't reading right because they'll just sit in class and not understand what they reading.
I don't think
you
understanding the question I'm asking you. Because if they pass this referendum, your property taxes as a property owner, because the property tax levy powers the school system.
Mm-hmm.
So the average increase in your property taxes will be about $600.
So with that, I mean, I will be against the shit anyway because I'm against school.
Okay.
So the referendum shit, I will be against it anyway because it's like, dude, make it more effective and efficient to homeschool kids. Make parents be able to get wages to where they can afford. Like my 2 oldest boys, I put them in tutoring, so they, you know, outside of school they got taught the shit that they really needed to be taught.
Okay. Tiarsha said the coach sent Harry Odom and Marvin Pratt with her uncle, so he wouldn't be the only black by himself. This was in the 1950s. Okay. She said, "How many does?" I didn't continue the list, Erica, so I don't know how Riverside or Browning, what their enrollments are, because I was just trying to make a point that you don't need $252 million for extra staff if you don't even got enough kids in your goddamn school in the first place. Where are you gonna send the extra teachers? What's gonna happen is that referendum will pass, and then next fall it'll be in the newspaper. Schools laying teachers off, because I've seen that happen before too.
Right.
Jesse says basically, Kamar, yes. However, these alphabet folks draw a distinction and consider gender a spectrum, hints at all the letters, which is just adding more and more confusion on top of pre-existing confusion. Tiasha said, I thought Vincent was bigger than Madison High School. Nope. Well, I'm talking population wise, it may be bigger in terms of space, but at one point, Madison was the most popular, densely populated school in the city. And it was during the early days when it was really, a lot of white people there. And Vincent was built after Madison too. Mama Jenkins said, "Did you say that list is posted on the People's News Network? I need to repost it." Yes, it is. It's an article in the People's News Network, Mama Jenkins. And it just talks about, it has Washington High School on the cover. Let me give you the headline or the byline. It says, the number of school buildings controlled by Milwaukee Public Schools that are the most dramatically underutilized totals 21. A look at the district's complete filing with the state. The district's underutilization of school buildings has become an issue in an April 2nd referendum in which the district will ask voters for a $252 million in annual revenue over its legal limit. So that's what I was saying. So it's in there, Mama Jenkins. Anybody else who want to see it? The People's News Network, if you ain't up on our group, you better get with it. Tiasha said they need to get more school buses so some children can get to school. Would the kids get on them if they had them? We got a truancy problem. Like Rail said, we got to figure out a way to get these kids to go to school. Erica said, I've always had a problem with NPS. I tried to get them out of the program, but it wasn't better than what they're currently doing. My kid's school still thinks that a bullied teacher is okay to keep. They are no trespassing on parents who bring up concerns about the teacher. The teachers done got their ass whooped by some parents. Got their shit kicked in. Jason said, is the school curriculum even worth going? Maybe that's the problem. Well, I think as a parent, like Rail said, you got to supervise that. It's not rinse and repeat. You got to be ultimately in control of your children's education. Like, you got to make sure they can read at an early age. You have to watch their social skills at an early age. You have to be aware of what that child is doing. Those teachers have to know this child has parents at home that hold him or her accountable. So if I call home with an issue, it's going to be dealt with. She says, can anyone help me find more information? I have a serious complaint about one of my children's NPS teachers that needs to be addressed. I would suggest you get with Miss Beverly Williams.
Yeah.
Miss Williams will show you the way. She'll show you the way. Listen, like I said, man, first of all, thank y'all for tuning in. Share the show. I always appreciate it. Because I start to notice that there's moves being made around Milwaukee in the media, people being assigned things, people have platforms. And once again, Outlaw Radio gets no love. But I understand. I think we kind of function in the underdog category. I think we are still pretty much considered to be somewhat of an underground platform. It's fine. It's dandy. I realize that for all the love that we have for the city and our people, we don't necessarily get that reciprocated. I do appreciate the people who do. People like Dion, Mama Jenkins, Erica, Jeff, a lot of people who support, a lot of people. So I don't want to leave anybody out. But by and large, the love don't come back from the city, just in our direction. And maybe I got to do a better way. I got to do a better job, I should say, of trying to, I don't know, bring it in. I don't know. I've never been a people pleaser. I've never been someone who does things to make people like me. The only thing I know how to be is my authentic self. And so that's pretty much what you get with our show I feel like we just have to be authentically us. But the love is just it's just one of those times. Now, some weekends I may come in and say, no, I felt the love for the show. I felt the love for our platform. I felt the love for what we try to do for the people. But this was just a weekend when I looked around and I said, dog, for real? We just bypassed again, huh? It just sends your mind into a crazy place. But I am appreciative of all the people that rock with us. I have to say thank you to those people as opposed to being salty about the people who ain't here. Jason says, that's why y'all gonna win, family, man. Don't trip, family. Keep going. I'm not right now, not in preparations to quit. Sometimes I look around and say, let me take account of things. And I see a lot of different platforms and I see a lot of different people doing a lot of different things. And in my mind, what we provide is of a higher standard than what they do. Maybe we need to step our game up and just maybe our presentation needs to change. So I'm going to start looking into making some changes about how we present the show. That's pretty much, I've always done that anyways. I've always tried to adjust our show to what was going on. So even when it became visual, when there was a need for it to become virtual, I tried to stay ahead of the curve and make sure all of that stuff was implemented. So we shall see. But like I say, I'm encouraged by the support that we have received. And once again, you have to understand the point of our show is not to tell you what to think, but just to make you think. If you question anything we said, go and research it yourself. And then meet us back here Wednesday, because we'll be back Wednesday, and say, I researched what y'all said, and here's the skinny of it. Kev, you was wrong. Rail, you was wrong. Kamar, you was wrong.
You a damn lie.
As long as you got the information to back it, then it won't be no problem. But don't you come half cocked, right? If you just so happen to not know what you're talking about, it'll be that much worse. And we'll start making fun of you, and we'll start making jokes about you. It's just the nature of the beast, man. It's 10 o'clock. I'm gonna let everybody go to sleep because I gotta hit the plantation in the morning. Rail and Kamar, do either one of you have anything spectacular that we need to reference before we cut off? All right, man. So like I said, it's just time. I just feel like people should start asking themselves, how much does being a black person count to me as a black person? What is the true value of our culture? What the thing that makes us unique and special has always been what we share together, the unique properties, abilities, characteristics of us as a race. When we start saying that shit don't matter no more, then we're really in trouble, and we become a whole race of individuals whose criticism of the community outweighs our contribution to it, and ultimately that makes us all coons. I'll see y'all Wednesday, man. Peace and love.
Peace.